out of Venezuela. The United States has carried out a large-scale attack on the capital, Caracas, and has captured President Nicolas Maduro and his wife. President Donald Trump says the couple are on board a U.S. warship and will head to New York to face prosecution. Venezuela declares a national emergency and calls the U.S. attack a serious military aggression. Maduro's allies have strongly denounced the U.S. move. Cuba called it criminal. Russia says it's an unacceptable violation of Venezuela's sovereignty. So yes, in a dramatic turn of events, the U.S. has captured Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife. U.S. President Donald Trump says they were taken to a warship and will be transported to New York, where the U.S. Attorney General says they have been indicted on drugs and weapons charges. This follows a large military assault on parts of the Venezuelan capital and other regions. At 2 a.m. local time, 7 powerful explosions shook Caracas, with reports of low-flying aircraft seen in the sky. Explosions have also been confirmed in the southern regions near a prominent military base, and several airports were attacked. The Venezuelan government has accused the U.S. of targeting both military and civilian buildings. The Venezuelan defense minister has warned the country would resist any foreign intervention.
In the face of this cowardly attack that threatens the stability of the region, we summon the most forceful denunciation to the international community and all the multilateral organizations so they will condemn the North American government for their flagrant violation of the United Nations Pact and international rights. The free, independent and sovereign Venezuela rejects with all its strength the presence of these foreign troops that have left death, pain and destruction in their path. Consequently, the men and women of the Bolivarian National Armed Forces, following instructions from citizens Nicolas Maduro, Bolos, constitutional president of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, our commander-in-chief, we will release all our capabilities for the integral defense of the nation.
All right, we've got a team of correspondents covering this developing story. Daniel Schweiner is following developments from Latin America. Dmitry Medvedenko is getting his reaction from Russia, one of Venezuela's closest allies, of course. Rory Challens is in London with updates from Europe. And Alan Fisher is at the White House. And Alan, let's start with you. So now we know that Nicolas Maduro and his wife are being held on a U.S. warship. What happens next?
Well, they head to New York, where they will face charges in a New York court. We're not quite sure what the charges against Maduro's wife are, but we know that back in 2020, Nicolas Maduro was charged with a series of offences.
So, Chad, there's a war, okay? And my body reacted to it. Are you ready for the strangest dream of all time? For the strangest dream of all time. Why am I whispering? Because this is what I sound like. I sound like RFK Jr. I am literally RFK Jr., bro. Something fucking happened to my voice. Do you prefer this voice or do you prefer the whispering voice? I think you prefer the whispering voice. I am not doing a bit. It's not a bit, bro. It is not a bit. This just happened to me. I don't know why. I think it was very cold outside, so this happened to me. I don't know. My body knew that they were gonna kidnap Maduro and strike Venezuela. I'm literally RFK Jr. Do not use ibuprofen. No ibuprofen for you. But I had to do this coverage. So don't say that I don't put the stream first. I'm literally dying right now. But then again, there are literal humans dying out there, and it needs to be covered. It's kind of sexy, really. I sound like a Russian prisoner of war. This happened. He was screaming for his favorite K-pop band. Yeah. But jokes aside, I'm very sick, but still we gotta cover this. Welcome in, chatters. Thank you very much to Pandas and Rotary Boys for those subscriptions. Thank you very, very much. I'm vaxxed, hardcore vaxxed, okay? So, thank you very much. Especially to Pandas, because those fucking 2 years of streaming is pretty crazy. You've been here from the get-go. Thank you for everything you've done for me, my friend. For real. Now, let's get into this bitch. Shit is fucking whack. I already tweeted about it. Okay? Jesus, am I really gonna talk like this? This might have been a bad idea. Okay, I already tweeted about this. 3 options, really. Incompetence, betrayal, or pre-negotiated extraction / capitulation. In any case, in America's world, no country is sovereign without nukes. No country, okay? 3 choppers flying in, very low. The operation lasted for like 2 hours. It was very absurd. So either Maduro is the most fucking incompetent fucking military leader of all time. He was betrayed by his military or certain people in the military or even the administration, or this has been pre-negotiated and he's, doing the whole capturing thing as a way to save face. Which one it is, I don't know, but one thing is for certain, guys, they're gonna parade him around like a stuffed fucking pig, and it's gonna be very fucked up, okay? America does it again, ladies, gentlemen, and NBs. America does it again. Let's get back into the coverage. Jesus, I'm even breathing like fucking RFK, dude, what the fuck? So I'm gonna whisper a little bit more. I'm really sorry, I know it's weird, but it's out of my control. I'm fucked up. Okay, let's continue. RF Kopnik. My name is RF Kopnik. Welcome.
And now Nicolas Maduro and his wife are in US custody.
Also, Alan, getting a handle perhaps of the why behind all of this. Donald Trump saying the US is going to be very strongly involved in Venezuela's oil industry.
Because we got a dick.
So essentially all the things that Donald Trump has said over the last year,
Thank you.
During the election campaign, he said he was going to remove Nicolas Maduro. You can pick one of 3 reasons for him.
Honestly, didn't think the U.S. had it in them after the last coup attempts. Me as well. This was as smooth as fuck. Okay, this was smooth as fuck. Now what the next step is going to be, will it be, the more classic agitation for alternative parties to win? Will it be a direct intervention, which I genuinely doubt? We will see. But I think they're going to go down the electoral path now with a lot of money behind particular candidates that are going to replace Maduro. That's the play. And now Maduro's party pretty much, the Chavistas in general, need to ask one particular question, which is, will the nation give us substantive political power to basically put it in a continuous state of emergency and violently crack down on alternatives presented by the West, or do they not do that and they just wait it out and eventually the government gets replaced through a passive mode or through an actual violent mode? Oh my god, I can't breathe. Thank you Stone Rock, and thank you Falcony. Thank you very much. It's not even January 5th and the US already pulling some shit. Dude, I am genuinely surprised he didn't do it on January 6th. That would have been pretty crazy. Let's make the hype train go choo-choo. Apparently today is my 2-year anniversary. Is it today? I think it was yesterday or something. But for obvious reasons, I couldn't stream. Okay, let's continue. That's pretty much the options that we have at our disposal right now. Did you think that you would be watching a coverage of Maduro being kidnapped by, being covered by RFK? I don't think so.
He'll be accompanied by his Secretary of State for Defense. They call him the Secretary of State for War in the Trump administration, Pete Hegseth, and the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. The 2 men who would have
Toasty. Thank you very much, my friend.
Talked to Donald Trump about it, but of course the final decision to execute was Donald Trump's, and he decided that this was an operation that he wanted to push forward with. He knew there would be some opposition about whether or not this was legal, but in the interview he gave in the last hour, he said people should not be questioning whether or not this was constitutional. They should be saying, great job, well done.
All right, that's a story from the White House. Alan Fisher, we will look ahead to Donald Trump's press conference in Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah, I saw the statement. I think all of you saw the statement. Cuphead is a legend. Cuphead created automated subtitles or whatever for the video, but I think all of you watched it at this point. This thing.
Buenos días, pueblo heroico de Venezuela, soldados y soldadas de la patria, hijos e hijas de Bolívar. La Fuerza Armada Nacional Bolivariana informa al mundo entero que en la madrugada de hoy, 3 de enero, el pueblo venezolano ha sido objeto de la más criminal agresión militar por parte del gobierno de los Estados Unidos de Norteamérica. Hasta el momento, la barbarie de las fuerzas invasoras que han profanado nuestro suelo sagrado en las localidades.
This is bullshit. South America is not America's backyard. That is unfortunately the reality of imperial warfare. You are their backyard if they tell you you're their backyard. As I said, in any case, in America's world, no country is sovereign without nukes. No country.
Localidades de Fuerte Tiuna, Caracas, los estados Miranda, Aragua y La Guaira, llegando a impactar con sus
Thank you, Eolixa. Thank you very much for the 2 months, baby.
misiles y cohetes disparados desde sus helicópteros de combate en urbanismos de población civil, para lo cual estamos ya levantando la información referente a heridos y muertos. Frente a este ataque ruin y cobarde que amenaza la paz y estabilidad de la región, elevamos la más contundente denuncia ante la comunidad internacional y todos los organismos multilaterales para que se...
If Maduro or his wife die while in captivity, world is definitely going to go to theater of madness route. They're not going to kill him. They are going to parade the living shit out of him. They might give him the death sentence afterwards, depending on whether his extraction was part of a deal or not necessarily. But that man will live an eternity of just humiliation. Okay, that's going to be the rest of his life's experience, like all of it, like 100% of it. Stuffed pig trophy. I wouldn't even be surprised. I'm calling it. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't drag him in front of Mar-a-Lago for the fucking statement later. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised at all. According to Trump, he's on his way to NYC. Absolutely. Let's save the hype train, chat. Your boy is here streaming sick, and you're gonna leave me on a level 2. Oh my god. Oh my goodness.
In the coming hour or two, but for the time being, thanks very much. So, with Maduro now being captured, Teresa Bow now takes a look back at his political career.
Nicolás Maduro started out as a bus driver and union leader, but his left-wing activism soon drew him close to his mentor, former Venezuelan President Hugo Chavez. Maduro rose quickly through the political ranks, first to President of the National Assembly and then to Foreign Minister.
Thank you for trying,
Like the
Toasty.
fiery Chavez, Maduro earned a reputation for being more diplomatic and conciliatory. What he lacked in academic skills, he made up for with mild manners, while rarely living the side of the popular president.
And one could argue far too conciliatory. Okay, thank you, Vinny MTG. Thank you very much, dude. Like, one of the last interviews he gave was the interview he gave in his fucking car, and he was talking about how he had talked to Trump and how it was a lovely conversation, and how the Venezuelan state is ready to allow for foreign intelligence services to come in and manage oversight over narco cartels and the trafficking of drugs. Okay, he said that they are open to selling their oil in the way they sold to Chevron. Right. The guy was replying to obvious American propaganda about narco trafficking as if it was real. Okay, it's absurdity after absurdity. We have a president that for like I can sit here and shit talk American imperialism. My fucking hot take on it. Fuck that, literally the greatest plague hitting our species, right? Without any fucking conversation. Unipolarity is a fucking sickness. American imperialism is a fucking disease. It's a plague. An end of conversation. This is just another step of them doing it. But I also want to talk about the lack of preparedness to fight against this. Just build a fucking nuke. It can't be that hard. It can't be that hard. I know you're going to tell me it's very fucking hard. But unironically, motherfuckers, why the fuck are you making clips dancing and saying no paz, peace, no paz, peace, no war, peace, no war for like 3 months before they bomb the shit out of your capital and take you from your capital in like 5 hours? What the fuck? What the fuck? You understand what I'm meaning, right? What I mean. Is your voice fucked up because you're doing a Zelensky impression? My love, look at me. Look, I wrote it right here, baby. I wrote it right here. Do I sound like Zelensky? Is it sexy? We will be fighting against Drumpler. Thank you, Vinny. Thank you, Ploy. And thank you, Keyframe. Thank you very much. Welcome to the community, brothers, sisters, and NBs. Let's go. My name is RFK Yugopnik, and I'm here streaming with this fucking voice. Thank you very much. Chill. Thank you for 23 months, you crazy motherfucker. You've been here since the beginning.
Like Saudi Arabia, you don't even have an election at all. Anybody elect MBS to be the prime minister of Saudi Arabia, and he does things that were even worse than Maduro in orchestrating the assassination of one of our journalists, and
Thank you, Brandon.
No punishment at all.
Very
In
much.
fact, he's a close ally. And here's somebody who epitomizes the opposite of legality in his own administration, the Saudi one. Yes.
Bruce, what do you say this says about, well, the precedent, really, that it sets for other theaters, for example, China and Taiwan, or even Russia and Ukraine?
No, I think it's a very worrisome precedent. Putin could kidnap Zelensky and say, he's another Nazi, and we're going to try him in Moscow.
Okay, this is like unironically like academic intellectual masturbation at this point. There are no fucking precedents anymore. There's no fucking international law. None of this shit works. Okay, they're not setting any dangerous precedent. There's no precedents. I am stronger. I kidnap president. You are weaker. You don't get to do that. Fuck you. No countries are not like, ooh, you've set this precedent. That is why I will do it. They do it, but nobody cares. Like Russia is like, oh, you set a dangerous precedent with the independence of Kosovo. That allows us to use that precedent and establish the Donetsk People's Republic and the Luhansk People's Republic. Does the West look at that and like, ooh, incredible argumentation there, sir. We agree with you with your take. We don't want to be hypocrites. What? No. They're like, no, that is bad because you're doing it. If we did it, it will be good. Okay? Who gives a shit about precedents, about fucking fists and bombs? Getting fucking kidnapped in 3 hours? Are you fucking, what the fuck, man? Thank you, Darkwing Cuck, you beautiful motherfucking cuck. Thank you very much for the sub. It's just imperialism, exactly.
The drug-running vessels.
Precedents.
Along the
What
coast. But
fucking precedents?
Today, Trump has been telling Fox News that the United States is going to be very
We
strongly
live in a
involved
post-precedent
in
life.
Venezuela's
Yes, my
oil
friend,
in the
we
wake
do.
of the operation to capture President Maduro. So perhaps that gives us a little more clarity of the reason behind it.
Cuba in 12 days.
No,
That's
we
some
said
dangerous
the
shit
same
right
thing
there,
about
bro.
Iraq. We're going to go into Iraq. All the war was going to pay for itself with all of Iraq oil. Oil now has got more. The Chinese are in more than the United States is. These are the statements that are made. Even the drug trafficking claim was a
Thank you, Will
complete
Dokes.
absurdity. At the same time, we're condemning Maduro for the
proper
drug trafficking. Mr. Trump himself pardons the former president of Honduras, who had smuggled in 400 tons of cocaine, said we're going to stick the cocaine up the noses of the gringos. He was serving 45 years in U.S. prison after a trial, and he gets a pardon from Trump. Now, try to make those two things compute. Again, I go back. I think you're attributing a rationality and a strategy that doesn't exist. It's just day to day.
How the fuck are they going to try him in the U.S.? I'm pretty confident our laws don't apply to Venezuela. Are you listening to what I'm saying, my friend? Nobody gives a shit. Nobody gives a shit. Oh, what the fuck? They're not a citizen. Oh, you can't just kidnap someone, especially not a president of a country. Yeah, apparently you can. Are you watching the news? Apparently you can. Apparently you can drag him to the U.S. and then trial him there and put him in prison. Because with unipolarity, with American empire, okay, with imperialism as it is, it's big eat small, or in this case, big kidnap small, I guess. So I understand your intention, and it's a very kind intention. I just want you to finally swallow that ultimate blue pill or whatever. It's the ultimate commie pill. everything is fluid, when there is a massive imbalance of power. Because who polices the police, quote unquote, unironically? Who polices the states? Who can tell the states, you cannot do that? Everybody says it, but can they do shit? No, they cannot. Do they even want to? Most of them, no, they kind of don't. They're just hoping their head is not next on the chopping block. So, like, please, like, always, like, there's no grand play at justice, at precedence, at attempting to not sound hypocritical. The cat is out of the bag, okay? And we're just doing shit now. Just doing shit.
You just give them very clearly demonstrate the ideological divide running right through Latin America. Some far-right leaders, the likes of Javier Milei, the incoming president of Chile.
Just finished listening to your 2026 predictions. You literally called it. On the last deprogram episode, like Hakeem disagreed with me. I was like, nah, Maduro's going. And he's like, nah, I don't think so. It's going to be like further. I'm like, nah, he's going. 60% chance, I said. Didn't expect it to happen on the next fucking day. I don't know why the Al Jazeera stream is dying.
Jose Antonio Cast reflecting.
I literally guessed it like 3 days ago.
In their reaction, said that troops will be sent to the border to monitor the situation, but also to monitor what he fears will be a greater increase in the migrants crossing into Colombia. We've already seen millions of Venezuelans leaving the country.
Is there anything that can be realistically done to reverse the course of action? Anyway, to pressure a release from Maduro? No, absolutely not. Can the current party in Venezuela survive? Yes, it can, potentially. Can they seize power away from it being co-opted by the Americans, either through additional military intervention or classic support of alternative parties that are just bought out by the states? Yes, they could defeat that. But Maduro's done. Rest in peace. Yeah, that shit's done. Buy him a nice casket. And they're not going to kill him. They're going to fucking... As I said, you know how like there's like videos of like, you know, some native tribes like dancing with like a massive carcass of an animal that they've just captured. That's what the Americans are about to do to this man. It's not going to be fucking pretty.
Leaving their country to find themselves living in abject poverty. I mean, we've been to the border several times, not allowed into Venezuela quite often. But
I love us not pulling another Russia won't invade Ukraine. Dude, I guessed it. Receipts literally from yesterday. Receipts from I can't believe it. I hate that I was right. Yesterday, we made an episode on the deprogram. This is a podcast I run with two other guys. Okay? Two very smart guys. And I said, he's gonna go. Yesterday. What the fuck is happening today? I hate being the fucking digital left cynic, but somebody's gotta fucking do it. Son of a bitch.
Latin America. Well, obviously, they've been watching very closely, but even more focused now on these recent events.
The VP could take over, or the military could take over. We still do not know who snitched, because somebody fucking snitched. Somebody sold this guy out like nothing. That's my guess. Alternatively, it can be him extraditing himself, but they're gonna take him to court, so he didn't extradite himself. By extradite himself, be like, okay, see where this is going. I don't want my people to go through war. I'm giving up, but let's make it look like a show as you extradite me. Which that did not happen because of everything that has been immediately put into place in order to basically build a firewall against all Venezuelan institutions, so that they cannot be co-opted by the states, right? He wouldn't have done that if he wanted to just give up. Everybody would have like just given up. So he didn't. This wasn't like well played, Mr. Maduro. 5D chess shit. It wasn't.
Or the arrest of Nicolás Maduro. But this by no means will guarantee a swift change in democracy, unfortunately. I mean, there is no plan
Robert Valencia.
To a democratic transition.
Democratic, what does that mean?
It's very clear from what we have seen, especially from Pam Bondi, the attorney general, who said that Nicolás Maduro has been brought up under charges of drug trafficking, but there's no mention of any type of democratic transition. The same case with J.D. Vance, which recently wrote on Twitter that the United States has the right to reclaim stolen oil. And I think this is the dangerous part of this whole operation, is the lack of plan to help. Here to us in the past year, how the United States has cut funds through USAID. The United States used to invest nearly $37 million for programs that point to that type of democratic transition. But with Doge and the change, the complete change in the way the United States is being ruled, that money is not.
This guy's living it out, dude. This guy's like, yo, it's based that we just attacked this country, but like we need to now quit in a democratic way, not a Republican way, bro. Bro's like, what the fuck? I want the country of Venezuela to be cooed, but I want it to be cooed by us, not by those freaks and Doge. Well, I can't find a comment. Where the fuck was it? Jesus, I hate when I miss a fucking good post and I can't find it. Some guy says something about China.
In the United States, and he has been pardoned. That's something that the United States should answer.
All right, Robert, we're at a fork in the road, aren't we? I want you to just hang on.
We're in the fork on the road.
Now in American
My name is
custody.
RFK
We have to
Jr.
ask the question of who will take power in Venezuela, and the Vice President Delcy Rodriguez is next in line, according.
No, I did not see the combat footage. Please send me that. Do we have real combat footage? What fucking combat footage?
56-year-old lawyer and has been vice president since.
John hasn't said anything about this. There are reports that, funnily enough, the Chinese delegation has been caught in some sort of crossfire, but that's probably fake news. The Chinese delegation went to Venezuela literally yesterday, and some chatter said, like, if China doesn't do anything about this, like, they'll eventually come for it. But we can't expect China to save all of us unless everyone starts playing this hyper anti-American fucking game. There's nothing else that can be done, okay? Fortress the shit out of your countries, which is gonna bring so many contradictions with it, because then we'll just have a bunch of leaders that we don't even fucking like that we have to support because the alternative is Americans. But you know, all alternatives are preferable to that of a fucking American boot on my ass. I am fucking good, bro. I will live in destitute fucking poverty instead of licking the fucking schlong of Burgerlandia any day of the week. Fucking Alexander Vucic, fuck that guy. Alexander Vucic getting cooed by the fucking states. I am the biggest fucking patriot in the front fucking lines. Okay? I am fucking standing on his fucking shoulders with a fucking zastava. Context. Okay. Figgy's so fast. So, holy shit. Okay, there was actual fighting. Let's see this. I don't want to open it on Telegram. Don't fucking dox the shit out of me. What the fuck? Wow. Somewhere in Venezuela, not in Caracas. They're hitting different positions with low flying machinery. What? That's okay. Is this confirmed? If they're now hitting other spots, reports of attacks throughout Venezuela. They're not reporting on it. We're watching this live.
Maduro regime did not budge, and now there's also reports.
Shit, if they're attacking all across Venezuela, then they're consolidating it. Fuck. They're just cleaning then. That's not good. They're just not. Oh, fuck me in the ass. I honestly hope they would go with the. I still think they will. With the classic, first you take out the head, and then you'll allow the so-called democratic process to play in a very impoverished country where you put hundreds of millions and not billions of dollars in a particular candidate. and ensure your victory. You understand what I mean? Like, that's how you do it, like, in a cultured manner with less blood. But if they're actually doing it proactive like this, it's probably find out more at the Trump press conference. It starts in half an hour. Absolutely, you better send that shit to my ears, right? Dane and Lear, brother. Reminder to everybody, I am RFK Jr., and I tell you, you should not buy medicine. Instead, you should subscribe to Yugopnik. I remind you every 30 minutes, okay? I am RFK, but communist. Come on, that is the best thing of all time. That's why I'm wearing this mask. I don't want Donald to fucking catch that I'm based as fuck. Subscribe, 0% ads, pay your fucking taxes, and if we're at the Target, we do some sick gamba, bro. Why not? Gamba good. Gamba based. Let's fucking go, baby. No vax. No vax. Let's go. No vax in chat. No vax in chat. Oh, true no vax chatters subscribe. Okay. If you're not subscribed, you're vax. You're objectively 6-7 vaxes.
Remember Bill Clinton when he attacked the pharmaceutical facility in Sudan in 1998 under
You ain't got no Tylenol.
So this is not something that is completely new, but it will certainly set a new fight in terms of what is legal and what is not.
Good to talk to you, Robert. Appreciate that and your analysis. Thanks very much, Robert Valencia, speaking to us there from New York. Thank you.
Rum broke, don't be alias, but then make somebody else buy your sub, bro. I'm kidding, dude. If you can't afford, of course not.
Well, let's bring you up to...
Isn't it obvious? Like, I'm sick out of my mind, and I'm still streaming. I am trying to milk that very fact, okay? I'm, like, super principled and based. I'm like, oh, my God, he streams even when he's very sick type shit. All right, that's what I'm trying to milk here. So let me milk that cow. Give me the tit of that cow and let me properly play it. Thank you, Astro J, for letting me milk that fucking tit. God damn it, brother. I feel like some of you guys prefer this voice over my normal one, and it's low-key freaking me out. I might have to like start chain smoking again so I sound like this all the time. Thank you, Astro J, for your taxes. Move, motherfucking move, baby.
Well, Venezuelans in
Yes, they
Caracas have
captured
been
Maduro
reacting to the news of the
in like a
attacks on
couple
the
of
country,
hours.
and indeed Maduro's capture.
If they took him away, I think they shouldn't have done so, because this will create an even worse conflict than the one we have now. And as for the bombings and all that, we have to go out. We all have to go out into the streets to defend our homeland, to defend ourselves.
There should be a positive change for all Venezuelans because it's been 28 years of government, and now is the time for transition in this country. Now we have to wait for government officials to speak out and see what they have to say. Everything should happen now, and we should get out of this situation.
Dude, somebody just invaded your country,
We want to be
you
at
dumb
peace,
cuck.
move forward, and for Venezuela to have, like any other country, the right to choose its own destiny and its own leaders.
Well, Donald Trump
Sure,
said the United
okay,
States-
great, based, I agree, but not through this fucking manner, you fucking cretin. Somebody just bombed your capital. Where's your pride? Where's your fucking pride, dude? Where's your fucking pride, bro? God damn it, man. Thank you, Einhard. Good work, comrade. Thank you, sir.
Venezuela's oil sits beneath the Orinoco Belt in the east, a 55,000 square kilometer region where extraction is complex and costly, but despite its vast reserves, production remains low. Sanctions, mismanagement, and aging facilities have left Venezuela...
Oh, no, I can't imagine it, my friend. I am from the quote-unquote third world, and I live in it to an extent. I'm the 1.5 world / second. No, I know plenty of them. We call them second citizens here. Drugo Servianzi, or whatever the fuck it was.
How much authority does the U.S. have, indeed, over Venezuela's oil?
Well, thanks for having me. If we look at the Venezuelan oil industry, nearly 30 years ago, they were producing over 3 million barrels a day of oil. Today,
dude, like, somebody made a lot of fucking money on one of those betting apps.
Evening, tell us about it.
I have a soul, but I could have made so much cash. I guessed this yesterday, man.
It was slightly busy, I would say. It was very dark all over, especially in Venezuela. The team did an incredible job. They rehearsed and practiced like nobody's ever seen. And I was told by real military people that there's no other country on earth that can do such a maneuver. If you would have seen what happened. I mean, I watched it literally like I was watching a television show. And if you would have seen the speed, the violence, you know, they say that, the speed, the violence, they use that term. It's it was an amazing thing, an amazing job that these people did. There's nobody else could have done anything like it.
You're at Mar-a-Lago right now. How were you?
Okay, so this is like Ike implying that there wasn't a snitch. But I'm pretty sure there was a snitch. That's what allowed him to do this. But yes, it is. It is. You are the king of all cope. If you're not looking at this and are like, holy mother of God, in your capital city, they walked in through your fucking front door. They grabbed you by the hair and they put you and your wife in a chopper. Brother, fuck me. Or maybe for real, like, incredible fucking Navy SEALs shit. It's betrayal. It's fucking the most best armed fucking military on the planet, and it's also low-key incompetence. Let's not fucking lie to ourselves. Like, Jesus, you can't say that he couldn't see this coming. You couldn't see this coming, bro. Why are you not 24/7 in a fucking bunker? Why are you not? I know I'm victim blaming here. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna victim blame. Why are you not in a bunker 24/7? Why you gotta be outside and mingle with the people and, you know, muster the support? Yeah, but afterwards, this was midnight. Afterwards, you go back to a fucking bunker. Bros were sleeping, dude. Literally.
You able to watch this?
Well, we watched it from a room. We had a room, and we watched it, and we watched
It was all
every
computer.
aspect of it. We were surrounded by lots of people, including generals, and they knew everything that was happening, and it was very complex, extremely complex, the whole maneuver, the landings, the number of aircraft, which were a massive number, the number of helicopters, a different type of helicopters, different type of fighter jets. We had a fighter jet for every possible situation. And they just broke in, and they broke into places that were not really able to be broke into, you know, with steel doors. That was
Holy Mother of God.
Just this reason.
I know there's no ethical consumption under capitalism, but literally making bank off a war is fucking insane. This person went on a buying spree over the past 24 hours. Fresh wallet only existed since December 27th. Oh my God. He's only bet on Venezuela-related markets. This is a fucking Venezuelan government official, bro. I don't even think this is an American. These are our Venezuelans, bro. We're cooked. Yeah. Yeah. They're the top holder of Yes Maduro, out by Jan 31st. It's also Feb 28th, March 31st. But they went with the shortest dated contract. Damn, son. Making bank on the back of your literal country, brother. Holy fucking shit. War profiteering. This is called war profiteering. That's what it is, brother. New slur, burger fucker. Use case. Fans of U.S. imperialism. Absolutely. Like, what will Putin or other leaders think about going to the States now that they just arrest leaders? There is no such thing as precedent. Nobody cares about precedent. Precedent is not relevant to any conversation. The UN is irrelevant. International law is irrelevant. What is good, what is bad, what is seen as ethical and unethical, all of this is irrelevant. It's fists, it's rockets, it's guns, it's Navy SEALs, it's traders, it's cash, it's fucking betting on wars. Welcome to the 21st century, ladies, gentlemen, and NBs. It's like Cyberpunk, but without any of the cool shit. Wow. Thank you, Soviet Puma. Welcome, Tavarish. Welcome to the community, my friend.
And they got taken out in a matter of seconds. I've never seen anything like it, actually.
And you were able to watch this in real time?
Yeah, I don't think...
Bigger dog fucks the bitches. Ufige, I love you.
in other parts of the world. Okay, I've done some pretty good ones, but I've never seen anything like this. I was able to watch it in real time, and I watched every aspect of it, and I listened to the communication between, where we were in Florida and out in the field in Venezuela. And it was amazing to see the professional.
Build nukes. Do not revolve most of your state around a single individual. And sleep in a fucking bunker when the Americans say that they're gonna coup you. Maybe. Fuck's sakes.
Starting with throwing bombs.
Treat this as a lesson for any of you that one day are fucking governors of countries. And if you're in my chat, you will be governors of countries, okay? My strongest fucking child soldiers in this bitch. Do that shit, okay?
Calling U.S. actions an assault.
Except Yugopnik, no. If I'm in power for longer than 8 years, fucking shoot me. No joke. Fucking absolutely, you should fucking shoot me. Immediately fucking shoot me. I'm no longer who I was before. And I am no longer who you elected into a position of power if I want to go for more than 8 fucking years. Blow my fucking brains out immediately. Past Hugo would be very grateful to you. Now fuck that shit. Dude, there's no potential alternatives, dude. As compared to what? Your country just got couped.
From Moscow throughout the day. Most recently, Russia's foreign minister.
What's the worst thing that can happen if you dilute power away from one central authoritative figure? You can potentially get couped. Well, guess what just happened? Let's just hope that their internal state apparatus and structures are relatively independent from Maduro as an executive power, and that they are capable of maintaining their grasp on said power in the coming weeks, months, and potentially even elections, right?
Also, we've had comments from the notoriously hawkish former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev. He made a post on Telegram.
No, I'm very sick. That's why my voice is fucked up. But I'm still here.
The United States showed what kind of
I'm literally as brave as Maduro. I'm streaming sick. It's crazy. I'm like the bravest guy ever. I'm like I'm literally like the Venezuelan troops protecting the streets right now, dude. I am fucking sick, dude.
What kind of peacekeeper it is, carrying out a military operation against a country that does not present any threat to the U.S. Security or sovereignty. He said that the U.S. should focus its enthusiasm and actions and activity on elsewhere, notably saying that the Ukrainian leadership would have been a better target. And thirdly, he said that every country after this should ramp up its spending on defense to protect its sovereignty.
There are those, Dmitry, who say that this capture may set a precedent, particularly to China and Taiwan.
Stop talking about fucking precedents. Nobody gives. The precedents aren't a thing. Nobody cares about precedents. You just do it because you can. How many times do I have to say
Well,
this?
yes, it's definitely an unprecedented situation. I mean, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs earlier throughout the day actually called it into question that this fact took place even several hours after the U.S. president posted on social media that the Venezuelan president was captured. And
Look, man, you know that if the DPRK didn't have nukes, this would would have happened to them too. Yes, buy nukes, more nukes, nukes everywhere. I want nukes like Fallout. I want nukes in drive-throughs. Okay, I want nukes underneath every hospital. I want hospitals to be launchable nukes. Nuclear proliferation on steroids. I want tactical nukes given to every family. Okay. And if you have more melanin, I want you to be given 10 tactical nukes. Jokes aside, though, yes, in a unipolar world where one power is so overwhelmingly bigger, thicker, and bustier than anyone else, there is no international law because nobody can police them. Okay? And precedence is irrelevant because when was it relevant? At one point was it relevant? Which country went, I will use your precedent that you have set to do another thing. And then the other country's like, oh, wow, I can't stop you now. I would be a hypocrite because I set that precedent. No, nobody gives a shit. This is what the fucking leader of the fucking EU said. Not EU, fucking NATO or whatever the fuck. I have spoken with Secretary of State Marco Rubio. By the way, this is the lady that's like, man, I'm good that they come into Ukraine. They take Ukraine. It is always bad to invade. I agree, right? But then I have spoken with Secretary of State Marco Rubio and our ambassador in Caracas. Why the fuck does your relevant country have a fucking... Okay. The EU is closely monitoring the situation in Venezuela. Jesus, can't breathe. The EU has repeatedly stated that Mr. Maduro lacks legitimacy and has defended the peaceful transition. Under all circumstances, the principles of international law and the UN Charter must be respected, blah, blah, blah. Right? Like, come on. My post is just the single greatest political cuckold in the world, because that's exactly what it is. And here, three options: really, incompetence, betrayal, pre-negotiated extraction, and capitulation. It's a combination of these two, I think. Now all my money is on this too. There's no way this happened without a betrayal, but also what the fuck? Your capital city, no, sorry, this is insane. Like it took him longer to take out Milosevic from fucking Belgrade, dude. What the fuck are we talking about? That was a fucking 6 million people country. Bro. And no, the situation is not the same as like when they kidnapped Chavez. Okay, the situation was not the same. They kidnapped Chavez and everybody wanted Chavez back. Venezuela was doing really fucking good. It wasn't current Venezuela under 7 trillion sanctions. And every form of fucking economic nukes being thrown on top of them on a daily basis. So it's a bit different. There's more contradictions. There's less political will for obvious reasons.
In which is attacking Venezuela by air, probably if Maduro has already been captured with his wife using special forces. But it's not a typical invasion as we saw, for example, in Panama. From a military perspective, it's not really an invasion with boots on the ground. It's an attack by air. It's an attack using, the Air Force, using missiles, long-distance missiles, and avoiding, which is a big issue for Trump and for his constituency, avoiding the implication, avoiding the invasion, as I said, with boots on the ground. At the same time, I said that it's a show of force because what it's trying to show to Latin America and showing to the world is that the U.S. has not only hegemony, but has the power, a very powerful coercion capacity to impose its willing on the continent, and particularly on the Atlantic area, from Greenland to the Patagonia. Is trying to show that this is an area that it is and will be under the control of the United States. Because at the end of the day, although many analysts has been said that oil is the key issue, or trying to bring democracy to Venezuela, the fact is that the U.S. had already access to oil.
Venezuela was Marco Rubio's project. Marco Rubio kept pitching it to Trump, even in the previous, during his previous term. Trump didn't like what it sounds like. Oh, we're taking on dictators, we're starting wars, I don't like it. He really liked the new spin, that it's drugs, that he's stopping drugs, okay? He liked that spin. That's why he went down this direction. That's it. That's why this war started, because he thought it was going to be good PR. Because he thought that long-term it's going to be pretty decent for his image and the Republican Party's image. While Marco Rubio is a more ideological character. Marco Rubio is carried by this, gusano mentality of wanting to liberalize every corner of South America. Also, he's big time supported by South American, cash interests and so on, oil interests, blah blah blah. That is why this happened. You heard it in other places. What's the name? Drop Site News covered this a while ago. That's why this happened. Marco Rubio lobbied for it. Trump didn't want to do it because he didn't think it pops enough. He heard a narco terrorist and he was like, I love this. And that's why this happened. This is what happens when you have a unipolar fucking world. A president will fucking kidnap another guy because he thinks it's a good PR move. Oh, Lord Christ.
There is a risk of escalation within the U.S. and if there is an escalation, the blood of Venezuelans will be on the hands of the Maduro regime. The Maduro regime was voted out in 2024, and Maduro should have relinquished the presidential palace on the 10th of January of 2025. It is now nearly a year
Not
later,
British, bro.
and they refuse to leave. And therefore, if Delcio Rodriguez, Diosdado Cabello, and Coronel Granco, who's in charge of the
Man, all of these diasporoid fucking cuckolds, they just attacked your country, bro. You can fucking hate the president. They just attacked your... I am not fucking... Like, did he do a... Is this a jab? Well, let me show you what I mean. Peace. The way he's saying peace.
Call. Yes. Peace. Yes. War. No. Never, never war. Peace. Peace. Yes.
Did he do a little bit of trolling there? I don't know. I think I'm I'm threading it a little bit thin there, but yes. Peace. No. War. Yes.
The majority of the population oppose this current government.
Yeah, Maduro. I can't believe that didn't work. I can't believe this didn't work as well. I think he wanted to go viral or something. I don't know what he was thinking. To be frank, what could have worked, so we should all give up. We should all just give up. What could have worked is properly preparing and not allowing somebody to come in the middle of the night in your capital city and kidnap you while you're asleep as the executive head of a country. That's what could happen. After the opposing state said, yo, we're going to do that. That's what could have happened.
On Caracas will oppose the illegal attacks on Venezuela's sovereignty and the attacks on the Venezuelan political system.
Well, some Venezuelans who...
China's such a useless ally, to be honest. China, yes, it is in South America. What the fuck is China going to do in South America?
Crazy hamburger! Crazy hamburger!
China can't do jack shit in South America. How about we all respectfully pull ourselves up our fucking bootstraps for a second and stop going through centuries of humiliation around and around and around and around and around. The Chinese pulled themselves out of their century of humiliation. Themselves. Can't expect anybody to pull us out. especially not outside of Asia. So yes, China is useless outside of Asia. Yes, it literally is. Thank you, Haplois. Oh my God, my first taxpayer, bro. RFK Yugopnik just got some taxes. Thank you for your taxes, my dear friend. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. And that dumbass cunt chatter that said, this is so privileged, I'm out. Where are you fucking texting from, you American cunt? What fucking privilege? My country was fucking cooled like 17 fucking times. It is completely normal as socialists, as anti-imperialists, for us to look at scenarios in which the anti-imperialist movement fails so we can learn something out of it. Privilege. Yeah. Use that card on me, baby. That's fucking funny. Of course, I'm not victim blaming. All the minuses, all the issues here lay on America's imperialist ass. 100%. But when looking at Maduro's attempt at protecting his rule, there's a lot to want and a lot we can potentially learn out of. That's it.
South has other fish to fry, if you like. There are people in the administration who wanted to go after the drug cartels in Mexico with direct action, with military action inside Mexico. Venezuela, for them, has been a kind of...
Do you think the U.S. is using the fact that Russia is bogged down in Ukraine to coup Venezuela? Yes, but also Russia does not have that much fucking political power in South America. Nobody except the Americans have that much political power and geopolitical power in South America. But yes, it definitely helps. It definitely helps. And is there a slight possibility, if we put on tinfoil hats, is there a slight possibility that Trump sat down with Putin and said, yo, I'm going to do this to the Venezuelans and I'm going to give you better terms in Ukraine? Is there a chance that happened? There's a 15% chance that happened. I don't think politics works that way. I don't think it's just exchanging shit like they're fucking baseball cards. Do people still have baseball cards? I don't think that happened. But is there a chance that happened? There's a pretty big fucking chance. There's a pretty solid chance that happened. Peace no guar. Thank you, Fry Pan. Thank you very much. Are we acting like American political leadership is fucking smart enough to plan this? True. But this was planned by their intelligence agencies and by their military, right? The executive body of the states might be filled with absolute fucking cretins, but never underestimate your enemy. There's some people in their military are some scary motherfuckers, right? To underestimate your enemy is to immediately die. Never do that shit.
In South America.
I mean, don't underestimate your enemy. Go to bed in your house while like a coup attempt is going on. I don't know. Certain things might happen when you do that.
With Reagan, an argument emerged as to why it was morally permissible to support repressive anti-communist dictators.
So what's your prediction for Venezuela now? Thank you for iPad 360 for the Prime. Welcome in. Three options. The state's
What's
institutions.
Up with your voice? Not sure if scared or turned on, man.
Thank you, Laufrau. I am RFK LARPing. It's Halloween in my part of the world. I am very sick. I'm very, very, very sick. Thank you for the bits. Three options. The institutions were properly built in Venezuela. And even without the head, even without Maduro, they managed to preserve the state from foreign intervention. Option number two. Active intervention, bombs, planes, special forces, certain boots on the ground, etc., etc. That is how the country is, quote unquote, cleaned of anybody who doesn't want to abandon Venezuelan sovereignty. And number three, the smartest option, is now without the head. You just put $100 trillion into the Venezuelan opposition. You call for elections and you get your guy in there, and then your guy just sells you all the oil. That's it. That's option number three. That's the most likely option. But I am open to being surprised by the brave men and women of the Chavista movement in Venezuela who might be able to, create a sort of very strong, meaty, not iron wall, that shit's whack, but you hear my point. And then do what needs to be done. These are the options. You asked me, I delivered.
Continuing coverage of the developments out of Venezuela, President Donald Trump is about to address the nation after the U.S. carries
Oh my
out a
God, he's
large-scale
gonna.
attack on the Venezuelan capital and captures
Ladies
President
and gentlemen,
Nicolas
we
Maduro
got
and
him.
his wife.
It's gonna be some
Trump
shit
says
like
the
that.
couple is aboard a U.S. warship and will head to New York to face prosecution.
We are literally living history right now, chat. Welcome in. Thank you, Violet. Thank you, Vade. Very much.
And Maduro's
Living history right now. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe.
US move. Cuba calls it criminal. Russia says it's an unacceptable violation of Venezuela's sovereignty.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
It is 16 GMT, that's 11 a.m. in Florida, where President Donald Trump is about to address the media after a dramatic military operation inside Venezuela. U.S. Special Forces captured President Nicolas Maduro in Caracas in the early morning hours of Saturday. President Trump says that the Venezuelan leader and his wife, Celia Flores, are now on a U.S. warship heading to New York, where the U.S. Attorney General says that they've been indicted on various drug and terrorism charges. At 2 a.m., Caracas time, 7 powerful explosions shook the capital, with reports of low-flying aircraft over the city. Explosions were also confirmed in southern regions near a prominent military base, and several airports were
Okay, let's see this. Come
The
on.
Venezuelan government has accused the U.S. of targeting both military and civilian buildings, the defense minister warning that his country will resist any foreign intervention. Al Jazeera's Rory Challenge is in London with updates from Europe. Daniel Schweimler is following developments across Latin America.
Isn't he about to talk? You just said he's gonna talk.
U.S. correspondent Alan Fisher.
Why are you teasing me like this?
So, Alan,
Thank you, set my
as
clocks
we
early
speak,
for the
as we
prime.
start this
Prime
hour,
people, prime me
we
up.
are expecting the U.S. president to address
Oh,
the
son of a
nation
bitch, this is
any
gonna be so embarrassing. As a non-American, I feel so cucked right now, I'm not gonna lie.
Lap, he announced what had happened at 4 o'clock. Clearly, there was some confusion after the initial reports of airstrikes in Venezuela, and no one was entirely sure what sort of operation had been launched, although everyone was pretty sure the United States was behind it. Then, just after 4 o'clock local time here in Washington, on his own social media platform, he announced that Nicolas Maduro had been arrested and his wife had been taken into custody with him. They are both now on the USS Iwo Jima, a battleship which has been in the Caribbean for some time. It's actually the ship where they have taken survivors of the attacks on the fishing boats for treatment. That is now heading towards the United States territorial waters, and then a decision will be made about whether or not Maduro stays on the boat or is flown to New York, where he's due to face charges after
Literal blitzkrieg operation, bro. Literal blitzkrieg operation. Tam, 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 tam. In by the hair, in the fucking chopper. Fly out. Nothing fucking hits the choppers while they're leaving. Deposit on fucking boat. Oh my fucking god. The audacity. The unhinged levels of just straight up kidnapping is very Trump. I'll give it that. Though Trump low-key didn't take full responsibility for it. You know, he didn't brag. He didn't I did it. He's like, my military guys hit me up and they were like, yo, we can do this. You want to try this thing? He's like, fuck it, let's try it. Can you wear GoPros while you do it? And they're like, yeah. It's like, I want to live stream my imperialism. Heard even bomb Travis's grave on the way out of that. Classic. Some old general had to jerk off to that shit. Every doctrine under the book followed to the fucking letter. Your mic stopped working, I think. I don't think it did. What? What the fuck? No, I just sound like RFK Jr. because I'm Siggy boy. I'm sick for Venezuela. I immediately got sick. Thank you, Carly Wenger, for the 22 months. No burgers for Trump, all burgers for Venezuela. Indeed. And I think he'll wrestle Fudge. Thank you very much. Still not starting, chat.
it was Maduro was not legitimately elected and therefore was a fraudulent president. The United States couldn't tolerate that in their own backyard in the Western Hemisphere. Then it was Nicolas Maduro was using oil to support the Russians, which he thought was wrong. Nicolas Maduro was the head of an international drug cartel which was flooding the US, excuse me, with fentanyl.
After the humiliation in Syria, I have no faith in the axis of resistance. What axis of resistance, my friend? A new axis of resistance needs to be formed. Everybody else has had their fucking kneecaps broken in. The Chinese are getting ready for something big. The Russians are actively fighting their fucking thing, if that's who you were referring to. Iran, we saw what happened there. You know. Syria, don't even get me fucking started. Now Syria and Turkey are... Shut the fuck up. Now Syria and Turkey are going to fight properly because of the... Turkey is not going to allow Kurdish forces to be integrated into the fucking Syrian regular armed forces, or for them to have like a more Kurdistan style like independence over there. That shit's going to fucking shit. The Gulf states are basically like fucking Muslim America. Who the fuck? Who? Yeah, you got Cuba with balls the size of a planet. It's gonna be China and everybody that like attaches themselves to China once China makes some big move. Okay, that's gonna be the axis of resistance. All the current players, like in the history books, the 20s and the 10s of the 21st century will be viewed as continuous losses for anti-American movements all around the world.
We'll speak again shortly. The stage is set, literally set in Florida. We're waiting for the U.S. president to speak. They had announced that press conference would be taken.
Iran, you know what my opinion on Iran is? I agree. It is going to be part of the axis of resistance because it's going to have much more access to necessary resources once unipolarity starts dying off. Yes. But you know what I think about Iran right now? This is what I think about Iran right now, and I'm tired of not fucking saying it. Oh, shit. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. It got banned. Son of a bitch. It's got a low-key ableist slur in it, but still a thing. Oh, come on. Why didn't I screenshot it? Son of a bitch. It's basically a post of the Iranian leader saying something about justice or whatever. And a guy just quote tweeted him and said, "Shut up and just build a fucking bomb, you SPASTIC." Oh, God. Oh, Jesus, I'm very sick. Oh, God.
Trump doing this because there's a list of reasons that have been given. They're not all the same, right? One of the
No, I didn't have it open before.
say that Maduro stole the
Thank you,
election.
Nina, and thank you, Mayhem.
The majority of the international
Thank you very much,
community
especially Nina,
is
20 months.
aligned on this.
Thank you, Mayhem.
The election of 2024, that therefore he is not a legitimate president, which is the U.S. position. So there's democracy. There's oil. There are many people, of course, who will point out that Venezuela sits on the largest proven oil reserves.
Stop talking about justifications for the kidnapping of a president, but not because it's hypocritical and makes no sense, but because nobody needs excuses. America doesn't need excuses. It doesn't need some, you know, legitimate rules of engagement under international law, because it's stronger than international law. It's bigger than international law. It does not have to care about international law. I'm tired of repeating this. There is no international law in unipolarity, okay?
The Venezuelan government is not cohesive. It looks like
Thank
the
you,
United
Gamer
States
Squad.
may have
You fucking legend.
part of the military, part of Maduro's inner circle, and Maduro has also shown that he is willing to directly challenge the United States for decades with the President Chavez before him in ways that Cuba simply has not done in 60 years. I think that this form of disobedience, of
This is incorrect. That the United States have been so legendarily embarrassed from their attempts to coup Cuba that it's led to no politician in the United States of America with enough political gumption to ever want to think about potentially involving his career in another failure in Cuba. To repeat myself, Americans fucked up so hard in Cuba. They got their ass kicked so fucking hard that no politician wants to touch that with a fucking 10-foot pole. That's why they're not hitting Cuba. Okay? They might change their opinion now if they get like very hyped up. And Venezuela, they are hitting because Marco Rubio, who represents Gusano interests, big oil interests, and so on, because he has lobbied Donald Trump into doing it. Donald Trump did not want to do it during his last administration. He chose to do it now because, unironically, and I quote from the inner circle, we'll read this on Dropside News, the Trump's inner circle, he really liked the sound of a narco-terrorist, Maduro. That's why, because he was like, if I get a narco-terrorist, I like that the people are going to love me. It's going to be beautiful. No, Donald, don't do it. Don't take Tylenol, brother. Thank you, Algies. Welcome to the community. Everybody with primes, be like Algies. Thank you very much.
been a hallmark of the Trump administration.
Okay, so what are the? I follow what you're saying, and that this has also been gamed out to see what the scenarios are. With Maduro gone, what's the most likely scenario? I don't even know that it's possible to give a good answer to that question. What are the most likely scenarios, plural?
Right. One scenario, the optimistic path is that
from the U.S.'s point,
from the U.S. point of view, and also the point of view of the Venezuelan people, is that the Venezuelan opposition and the Venezuelan government and power ministries are able to reach an agreement about how next steps will take place. That there will be a pacted transition, free and fair elections, internationally guaranteed.
I will, no worries, I will. You're fine. Enjoy yourself. I've been drinking tea all day and a lot of honey. Thank you, though. Thank you for caring. Thank you for that crazy amount of bits. Thank you very much.
Scenario which is the most virtuous scenario from the U.S. point of view, where you remove Maduro and the country changes. The country changes wholesale and is put on a path towards democracy, and you have the opposition, the democratic opposition that is waiting in the wings. It really?
Well, something like that happened after 1989 in Panama, and that doesn't excuse or justify anything. The other alternative, of course, is much worse, that everything falls apart, that you have half of the country or even three-quarters of the country that approves of the removal of President Maduro, but the other half resists, and resists with determination, resists with force, and that's more than enough to sustain a civil war. The country.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Low level.
And that will happen, unless the institutions built to protect the Venezuelan independence were much weaker than we thought, which I am kind of suspicious of after I saw this fucking debacle. I'm not even Venezuelan. I'm embarrassed as fuck.
Could make a big difference, but I'm not optimistic myself.
So just before I move on, I have to ask you a question on the less optimistic scenario from the U.S. point of view, because in my generation and in my experience broadcasting on U.S. Invasion, this is not an invasion. Or at least it's not a full-scale military invasion, but when the U.S. invades a country and removes leadership, it does not necessarily end well, and it can become much, much worse than it previously was. So how does this, if this does go south, which it could, what does that look like?
It looks like something that resembles, I would probably say, a worse version of Colombia's civil war, or possibly something that looks like an amped-up version of what has happened.
Do you think Chavez made the institutions strong? Chavez did. I don't know if Maduro did. Chavez made them so strong that they saved them when he was literally taken away in a helicopter during his career. But there was a lot less contradictions in Venezuela back then. Far lower sanctions, a blooming economy, etc., etc. Chavez's ideas were considered fresh, new. There was political will. Maybe there is now as well. I'm not Venezuelan. Maybe there is. Only time will tell whether there is political will and whether he built institutions that are going to protect the state from foreign intervention or not. And it's mostly the fucking, the community defense movements and, of course, the military. When Chavez made them weak, it was pure aura. Chavez let the opposition get strong. He was relatively soft on it, yes, but he did not make the political will weak because he basically used oil money and then subsidized every fucking social welfare system in the country on steroids, right? So maybe you misunderstood me. So from that perspective, yeah. The fuck, where is this?
Venezuela nationalized control of its oil deposits, and since then, relations between Venezuela and U.S. oil giants have been...
We just hit 1 hour 15 minutes ago, and I forgot to say, please subscribe to the show. Support this incredibly sick man to get healing because he is slowly turning into RFK Jr. for $6 a month for free through Prime, or by gifting to your fellow chatters. 0 sponsors here. 0 ads here. Just an insane fucking communist in the mask screaming about how everything sucks, but it's also going to get much better. Buy me some tea. Buy me some honey, baby. Let me glug on some honey so I fix this. Unless you want me to turn into RFK, then you're weird. And I'm not a king shamer, but you're weird. They're live already here before he has arrived. What? That's so funny. That's funny. What? That's the White House, blood. Like, how do you start streaming?
Live images of them. Now, it is also important to note that cameras are not allowed inside a federal court, so we likely won't.
Adrian, you beautiful son of a bitch. There you go. If nobody's going to buy me a tea, Adrian always comes and he's like, oh, here's a fucking tea for my guy. Thank you, Adrian. Second Western tax payment off this beautiful day. Everybody say thank you, Adrian, and bow.
Crazy hamburger!
Oh, come on.
Crazy
Dude,
hamburger!
to him, this is so insignificant that he didn't even want to fly out to the White House in order to do the statement. He's just doing it from Mar-a-Lago. That is so funny. The guy doesn't live in the White House, I think, because there's not enough gold in it. He genuinely feels like it's not fucking luxurious enough. Thank you very much, Adrian.
Notice there on the left-hand side of your screen, that is Fox's Lucas Tomlinson in the background. He joins us pretty frequently to break down all the latest developments on
journalists are such strange animals.
Just like this one. We're, of course, going to try to get him on later on today to break down everything he learns from President Trump.
This lady's girl bossing so hard, like, ooh, I'm going to do sure.
But this news
phone, and she's like, oh, I'm boy bossing right next to you. Phones, tweeting, tweet. I'm going to tweet. I got to get some content from this war. So much content during the war. We're going to make so much money. Laufrau, what the fuck, my friend? Thank you for another tenner, my friend. Thank you very much, Laufrau.
Again, though, we heard somebody in the background say they believe this was the 2-minute warning.
Very much.
Looks like folks are
Very
ushering
much.
somebody in, so I do want to pay attention to
We're
see
gonna
if
buy a
that
bunch
is
of
the
tea.
president.
I need to stream tomorrow as well. This is going to be crazy. I'm probably going to sound like fucking Terminator tomorrow.
All right, looks like they were maybe trying to get another reporter or photographer in there. You can see they're pretty jam-packed.
Trump is waiting for Maduro to literally be dragged in.
Crazy hamburger! Crazy hamburger!
Nicolas Maduro and his wife were captured by the U.S. out.
Okay, now you're just going to repeat your script, you fucking...
Maduro was his chosen successor, and he was elected president by a slim margin. Either from the pressure of filling the shoes of the charismatic Bolivarian revolution leader, or because of a sudden steep drop in the price of oil, Venezuela's main export, Maduro's personality seemed to change dramatically. he became louder and more eccentric. As the economic crisis escalated, opponents overwhelmingly won control of the National Assembly.
Can't believe you're streaming while your voice is like that. I'll be okay, my friend. I am managing to direct it in a particular way so it doesn't hurt my actual throat. Because apparently if I whisper, it hurts the part. So it's better for me to actually talk like this. I love how there's I'm a fucking 1K Andy when I sound like this. That's fucking incredible. Thank you, fourth world potato chip. From a third world potato chip, I appreciate you. Just use text-to-speech. Imagine, I would have to have like a 1970s secretary's writing speed. Hugo, I'm new here. Thoughts on this invasion? I love the invasion. I love all invasions, especially when they're done by the United States of America. I'm a big fan of American interventionism all over the world. It has proven itself to be a tool for good. Every single place that the American boots stepped on ended up improving immensely. It ended up being like incredible places, almost as rich as America. You know, I went to Iraq the other day. It's literally like New Jersey. It's fucking awesome, dude. Afghanistan, it's like right across. New Jersey, it's like New York. They're so fucking wealthy. It's fucking insane. So yeah, I'm hoping that now, after they did it in Venezuela, like honey's gonna start flowing out of the walls. Everybody in chat, W. It's pretty crassy. No water, yes piss. Yes piss.
Venezuela. Vice President Delcy Rodriguez is next in line. According to the Constitution, she may continue Maduro's policies if...
I mean, she is president right now, yeah.
Rodriguez is a...
She's literally president right now. What the fuck are you talking about?
Vice President since 2018. She served in ministerial roles under former President Hugo Chavez, but her career has risen with Nicolas Maduro's. In the long term, the path could be open for Maria Corina Machado. We mentioned her earlier.
To
return to Venezuelan politics. The opposition leader has supported Trump's policies towards Maduro. In October, she was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for what the committee said was her tireless work promoting...
Imagine being a Venezuelan that votes for the lady that supported an attack on your own capital. The level of cuckoldry that needs to flow through your fucking veins in order to do that is fucking impressive.
...election to Maduro. And Venezuela's opposition leader, Machado, has...
As I said earlier, maybe it's uncomfortable for some of you because you're from the developed world, quote-unquote developed. And it's uncomfortable because you're like, oh, like, why is he, like, throwing so much shit at people from coup countries? Aligning themselves with those who do the coup. Okay, I am from a country that was couped multiple times to such an extent that the OG country doesn't even exist anymore. Okay, and I can tell you with my full chest, right, that I would defend the president of my home country who I fucking hate. I would defend him with a fucking gun, and I would stand on his fucking shoulders if he was being couped by Americans who are bombing the fucking capital. What the fuck are you talking about? Any other day, I wouldn't piss next to him because I think my piss is worth more than his fucking boots. Any other day, Americans start coming in, I am becoming the greatest patriot who has ever fucking lived. I'm joining his fucking party. Okay? I'm standing on his shoulder with like a fucking dancing monkey. You understand what I mean? So don't feel uncomfortable about criticizing domestic traders when they prefer the foreign boot over their own assholes. End the fucking conversation. Use me as your, token developing world leftist.
Response in a moment, but first
they will greet us as liberators, my fucking ass.
On what's
Unless my president is a literal fucking insane fascist, and if he is, then it is my duty to try and take him down. Unless he's a literal fascist, I will not support American fascists when they try and come and, blow the brains out of my fucking incapable leader or whatever the fuck. I'm not talking about my part of the world. I'm talking about Maduro in particular.
Be allowed to stand. I think the whole nation, those Venezuelans in
It'd be a Vucic head. That would never be a Vucic head, but that would be like, I don't know, in the National Defense Leagues
does
or
next.
some shit like that.
Until they know that, I don't think anybody really knows quite how to react. As we've been hearing from some of your previous speakers, really great uncertainty, various possibilities. We have to see how the people on the street in Venezuela will.
If he was an insane fascist, then the U.S. would not coup him. Yeah, exactly. Would you support the United States if they were coupping your fascist president, Hugo? Are you a hypocrite? No, I wouldn't be, because that premise would never happen, because they would not coup a fascist. The fascists would probably sell everything to the Americans.
Of what's happening inside the country, excuse me, from a population standpoint, what are Venezuelans saying and doing from what you can pick up?
I mean, we've seen here there's a large Venezuelan part of the Venezuelan diaspora here in Buenos Aires, as there are in many of the cities and towns across Latin America.
Crazy hamburger! Crazy hamburger!
Rally, supporters of the U.S. military intervention in Venezuela, gathering around the obelisk, the main point.
Laubfrau, you fucking legend. Thank you very much for the tenor, Laubfrau. Again, Jesus. True Western taxpayers in chat today. True Western taxpayers. Other Westerners, pay your motherfucking taxes, make the number go up, and if we hit the target, we can gamble. Though maybe we shouldn't gamble as a war is starting, but yeah, probably not gonna gamble today. Let me remove this. It would be in bad taste. It would be in very bad taste. Okay.
Elsewhere, all watching and waiting, bated breath to see what that next move will be. Will they be able to go back? That depends on who takes over. Will there be repercussions for those who supported the Maduro regime? We've heard the president of Colombia, Gustavo Petro, saying that he's sending troops to the border. That's to monitor the situation, but also because they fear there will be another great wave
Ashkankiani, thank you, my friend. Thank you for supporting the show and the healing of my RFK mouth. Thank you very much for the Western taxes.
Or because they don't see a future, having held on for so many years. So a great deal of uncertainty, very difficult to pinpoint exactly which forces
Thank you, Gutter Fox.
In this very polarized situation
Very much.
will gain dominance in these next few days and weeks.
Daniel, not to put too fine a point on it, for the moment, as far as we know, there isn't a countrywide uprising. The people of Venezuela, I know there's been one gathering and a counter gathering, but from a if we look at this from a national perspective, the people of Venezuela are not rushing to the streets one way or another yet.
Wonderful, a new child soldier.
No, I mean, it's fair to say that despite the opposition we often hear about and the millions who have left the country, Nicolas Maduro, up until the early hours of the morning when he was taken away.
Oh my God, is this footage?
Certainly enjoyed.
Oh, this is confirmed footage. Holy shit. They're giving him the full treatment. Holy shit. Pants pulled down, man. They're gonna fucking milk this man forever. Trump is posting on Truth Social instead of showing up. Well, he's just not gonna show up. Don't tell me he's not gonna show up.
Subscriber.
Fucking hell. Thank you, Ashkan. Nicolas Maduro on board of the USS Iwo Jima.
Subscriber.
It's over. The Nothing Ever Happens guy has officially been shot today. And the eternal cucking of the developing world by Yankee-stan gets to live for another day. Welcome to the 21st century, ladies and gentlemen and MBs.
Hamburger! Crazy hamburger!
This is your reality.
Something to block his view and his vision.
Yeah, this is what they put on every prisoner.
Because it's a military plane and therefore would be very loud and that would be typical, or whether it's because he's a prisoner
No, it's isolation, so he hears nothing and sees nothing. What? What the fuck?
Being restrained, either his hands or the rest of his body. But that is the president of Venezuela right now posted,
which is
on the social media platform of the U.S.
I'm really excited for a third century of humiliation, guys. I am as well. Woo! Fucking hell. We're just fucking
military among those people to show how far he has fallen. He's a very vociferous speaker, very passionate. He certainly manages to whip up the crowds in support certainly in the run up to this situation. So I would imagine, those photographs.
This man will be milked so fucking much, okay? Like a sacrificial lamb. He's not about to have a good life, and that's all I can tell you.
Earlier in the hour, and who's waiting in the studio with us for.
It's very rock and roll, though, I must say. Yeah, it's a very rock and roll photo.
Early.
Kind of low-key looks cool on it, you know?
I don't know what to say. This is wow.
You think Trump will display him? What do you mean? Trump just displayed him like a hog? This is displaying, my friend. This is displaying. This is humiliation on steroids. This is a trophy from a hunt.
A strategy and the Trump corollary to the Monroe Doctrine that these are being carried out. And releasing this sort of photograph is not statesmanlike, it's not sportsmanlike, but is designed to show who's number one. And that's President Trump's modus operandi.
And this comes minutes off a tweet by the U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance, and one of the sentences in that message was the U.S. President Nicolas Maduro is the last person or the most recent person to realize that Donald Trump means what he says. A picture speaks 1,000 words. This one, I think, is headed for the history books.
I think this is pretty eloquent, and I think it shows that the United States, for decades, really tried to have some sort of a fair or business-like approach to its dealing with Latin America, certainly a break with some of the worst habits. But coming back to something like this is an act designed to show that the United States is very involved, very powerful, and not willing to make friends or to broker any sort of compromise.
Yeah, Donald Trump did say in an interview to Fox News just a short while ago, this sends a message, this meaning the capture of Nicolas Maduro. I think the picture carries that message. Who's the message for, though?
So there's a lot of people for that. This is.
What the fuck is effing like a motherfucker, dude? And the chat is effing, I don't know. I think we back, chat. Refresh. Twitch has been so bad recently, I don't even have a fucking.
Designed to show.
Fuck you, man. I'm sick out here trying to fucking cover this, and it's not even working.
An image to the United States that President Trump has got his man, that he really carried out a successful raid. And then I think that it also speaks to the rest of the hemisphere. There are, I like Daniel's word, polarization. There are countries, leaders, peoples in the Western Hemisphere who view Maduro as a dangerous socialist and somebody who has to be stopped. And then there are people who are very sympathetic to his anti-imperialist message. To the former group, it shows the United States is listening and they're on their side. And to the latter group, it says, watch out. Same kind of charisma or legitimacy as a successor who could take Maduro's place as he took Chavez's place. And for Delcy Rodriguez, for instance, to be in Moscow when the event happened, it's not great optics, and who's really in charge? And after years of President Maduro saying that he and his military could stand up to the United States, in a span of minutes, that illusion was destroyed.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for staying with us.
Incredible level of embarrassment.
Capture
just a pure display of power. Pure display of we do not give a shit.
To the Venezuelan border, calling U.S. actions an assault on the sovereignty of the region. Spain's foreign ministry offered to mediate and help find a peaceful solution. And the EU is calling for restraint. Its Vice President Kaja Kallas says the principles of international law and the UN Charter must be respected under all circumstances. Russia has condemned the U.S. move as an act of armed aggression, expressing concern over its destabilizing effects on Venezuela. Al Jazeera's Rory Challenge joins us now live from London. Rory, what stands out to you in the international reactions so far? One thing that you can.
The international reaction is the same, like it fucking always is when it comes to the United States of America doing absolutely fucking anything. It's irrelevant. That's what the international reaction is. Irrelevant. The worst thing they can do, which, for example, the EU would not do, is send a strongly worded letter. This is unipolarity, my friends. When there is nobody bigger than the police to police the police, the police does what the fuck they want. And in this allegory, the United States of America is the police. Okay? Oh, you can't do this. You can't just go into a country and kidnap someone. Welcome to the real world, motherfucker. Welcome to imperialism. Wanna bet I can't? Yo, I fucking can. That is why every anti-imperialist should advocate, unironically, for 1 million nuclear missiles. I want little 12-year-old girls to have tactical missiles in every country on planet Earth. Because without that, in a unipolar world order, you do not have sovereignty. You do not have sovereignty. How can we argue that countries are independent actors and this is not all just America's planet, America's playground, when we know very, very fucking well that if we stir in a direction that they don't like, or even if they just feel like it, which I genuinely argue is the case of Venezuela, that they can just come into our house, grab our fucking president by the hair, put him on a boat, and do what the fuck they want. On a planet where that can happen to one executive of state, it can happen to every executive of state. And therefore, you do not have sovereignty. Therefore, you do not have, I'll fucking say it, you do not have countries. We are all living in America. Just most of us don't get to vote. And that's what it is. The longer unipolarity goes on for, the longer countries do not create systems that will protect them no matter what from American intervention, none of us are fucking safe, including Americans. Because the imperial boomerang, when it blows the fuck back, oh, and my friends, it will blow back. That is that is one thing our species has always been good at. We fucking remember. And when that imperial boomerang fucking flies back, it's gonna blow up in your fucking faces, my friends. And I don't want it to blow up in your faces because some fucking Jimmy from the fucking cul-de-sac ain't done shit to me. So it's also on you to make sure to agitate against unipolarity, even as Americans, because you don't want that fucking boomerang. The more you let your country swing at the fucking wall, the more energy that wall will concentrate that will then blow back in your face. So do it for self-preservation instead of anything else.
And early today,
oh shit,
at my direction, the United States Armed Forces conducted an extraordinary military operation in the capital of Venezuela. Overwhelming American military power, air, land, and sea, was used to launch a spectacular assault. And it was an assault like people have not seen since World War II. It was a force against a heavily fortified military fortress in the heart of Caracas to bring outlaw dictator Nicolas Maduro to justice. This was one of the most stunning, effective, and powerful displays of American military might and competence in American history.
This is the man who did this. This is the man who did this, by the way. Don't ever forget that. This is the cream of the crop of his career.
Attack on al-Baghdadi and the obliteration and decimation of the Iran nuclear sites just recently in an operation known as Midnight Hammer. All perfectly executed and done. No nation in the world could achieve what America achieved yesterday, or frankly, in just a short period of time. All Venezuelan
all his life's
military
work fulfilled in this day.
capacities were rendered
He
powerless
wants Cuba
as
as
the
well, but
men
nobody's
and
going to hit
women
Cuba.
of our military working
Yeah,
with
not
U.S.
yet.
law enforcement successfully captured Maduro in the dead of night. It was dark. The lights of Caracas were largely turned off due to a certain expertise that we have. It was dark and it was deadly. But captured along with his wife, Celia Flores, both of whom now face American justice. Maduro and Flores have been indicted in the Southern District of New York. It's Jay Clayton, for their campaign of deadly narco-terrorism against the United States and its citizens. I want to thank the men and women of our military who achieved such an extraordinary success overnight with breathtaking speed, power, precision, and competence. You rarely see anything like it. You've seen some raids in this country that didn't go so well. They were an embarrassment. If you look back to Afghanistan, or if you look back to the Jimmy Carter days.
Bullshit charges. It doesn't matter what the charges are. They're just might makes right. How many times do we need to say it?
Days we're a respected country again, like never before. These highly trained warriors operating in collaboration with U.S. law enforcement caught them in a very ready position. They were waiting for us. They knew we had many ships out in the sea, just sort of waiting. They knew we were coming. So they were in what's called a ready position. But they were completely overwhelmed and very quickly incapacitated. If you would have seen what I saw last night, you would have been very impressed. I'm not sure that you'll ever get to see it, but it was an incredible thing to see. Not a single American service member was killed, and not a single piece of American equipment was lost. We had many helicopters,
What the
many
fuck,
planes,
Venezuela?
many people involved in that fight. But think of that, not one.
Maybe he's lying. Maybe he's lying. But if this is true, capital city, your president gets kidnapped. You don't drop even a single body. No, I'm not gonna be your cope guy. Be like, ooh, that is fucking insane. That is what levels of treason or absurd levels of not knowing what the fuck you're doing need to happen so that they take your president in the middle of the night from the capital city in the most secured fucking castle without even dropping a single body. Oh my fucking God, I can't.
One piece of military equipment was lost. Not one service member was, more importantly, killed. The United States military is the strongest and most fearsome military on the planet by far. With capabilities and skills our enemies can scarcely begin to imagine. We have the best equipment anywhere in the world. There's no equipment like what we have, and you see that even if you just look at the boats. You know, we've knocked out 97% of the drugs coming in by sea. 90%. Each boat kills on average 25,000 people. We knocked out 97%. and those drugs mostly come from a place called Venezuela. We're going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. So we don't want to be involved with having somebody else get in, and we have the same situation that we had for the last long period of years. So we are going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. And it has to be judicious because that's what we're all about. We want peace.
Iraq too.
And that includes many from Venezuela that are now living in the United States and want to go back to their
Iraq too.
country. It's their homeland. We can't take a chance that somebody else takes over Venezuela that doesn't have the good of the Venezuelan people in mind.
Peace no mas.
Had decades of that. We're not going to let that happen. We're there now, and what people don't understand, but they understand as I say this.
But how are you going
We're
to
there
do this
now,
without boots
but
on the
we're
ground? Like,
going
you need
to
a
stay
formal
until such
occupation,
time
man.
as the proper transition can
How are
take
you gonna
place.
do
So
that?
we're going to stay until such time as we're going to run it essentially until such time as a proper transition can take place. As everyone knows, the oil business in Venezuela has been a bust, a total bust, for a long period of time. They were pumping almost nothing by comparison to what they could have been pumping and what could have taken place. We're going to have our very large United States oil companies, the biggest anywhere in the world, go in, spend billions of dollars, fix the badly broken infrastructure, the oil infrastructure, and start making money for the country. And we are ready to stage a second and much larger attack if we need to do so. So we were
Okay, he said
prepared
it.
to
There you go.
do a second wave if
Iraq
we
too,
needed
yeah.
to do so.
That's
We
it.
actually assumed that a second wave would be necessary, but now it's probably not. The first wave, if you'd like to call it that, the first attack was so successful, we probably don't have to do a second, but we're prepared to do a second wave, a much bigger wave, actually. This was pinpoint, but we have a much bigger wave that
Not a single service member
probably
died.
won't have to
Oh my
do.
fucking god, dude.
This partnership of Venezuela with the
Oh, my
United States of
fucking
America,
God.
a country that everybody wants to be
The
involved
levels.
with because of what we were able to do and accomplish, will make the people of Venezuela rich, independent, and safe. And it will also make the many, many people from Venezuela that are living in the United States extremely happy. They suffered. They suffered. So much was taken from them. They're not going to suffer anymore. The illegitimate dictator Maduro was the kingpin of a vast criminal network responsible for trafficking colossal amounts of deadly and illicit drugs into the United States. As alleged in the indictment, he personally oversaw the vicious cartel known as...
Okay, now he's going to do his own thing. I'm keeping an eye out on what he's saying, but Holy Mother of God, actual occupation. Holy shit. I didn't think they're going to do an actual occupation. I didn't think they would have the ability to. To be perfectly honest, if they're talking about actual direct occupation, that means that they really think that the leadership and the institutions that are supposed to protect Venezuela from occupation are basically not there anymore. It's all up for grabs. They have people in all institutions. They have political movements on the ground. They have traitors, they have loyalists, and they have the infrastructure to potentially do a second wave. And they don't think the military has the capacity to do jack shit. Yeah. Iraq too. This is literally fucking copy-paste. Just it's better than Iraq. Because before the occupation, they took Saddam. They took Saddam before they moved in. For those of you who are young, they did not take Saddam before they moved in. The country did not have a decapitated leadership back then. Well, in Venezuela, they do. Oh, my God.
That inflicted
Just a complete peeing on the poor, as they like to say. Like, just destruction. Complete destruction.
a threat. But we haven't had a killing in a long period of time, 6-7 months. We used to have two, on average, 2 a week in Washington, our capital. We don't have that anymore. The restaurants are opening. Everyone's happy. They're going, they're walking their daughters, they're walking their children, their wives. They walk to restaurants. Restaurants are opening all over Washington, D.C. So I want to thank the National Guard. I want to thank our military. And I want to thank law enforcement. Been amazing. And they should do it with more cities. We're doing it, as you know, and we're doing it in Memphis, Tennessee right now, and crime is down. We've just sort of started a few weeks ago, but crime is down now 77%. And the governor of Louisiana called, great person, and he wanted us to help him, as you know, because that's what we're all about. We want peace, liberty, and justice for the great people of Venezuela in the United States and want to go back to their country. It's their homeland. We can't take a chance at
So he's attaching deportations to this, right? Like, now we have the perfect excuse to deport most Venezuelans as well. And not only us, other South American countries, because a lot of Venezuelans like emigrated because of the horrible situation in the country caused mostly by the sanctions. But not only by the sanctions, of course. I'm not a hypocrite. So now he's going to use that as an argument to push everybody back in. Oh, fucking hell, dude.
Venezuela that doesn't have the good of the Venezuelan people in mind.
Yeah, it's going to be funny. The anti-Maduro Venezuelans are not going to want to move back. That's going to be pretty funny, yeah.
Decades of that. We're not going to let that happen.
I think he'll do the same in Cuba. The main reason why he went into Venezuela is because he was lobbied into doing it by Marco Rubio, who successfully pitched it to him by through the pitch of fighting a narco-terrorist. He liked how it sounds. That's why he did it. This will be in history books. My take is the only take that is correct. I'm not even fucking kidding. It is that petty. It literally is that fucking petty. And of course, other lobbies that push for this, because obviously it's in America's more general fucking oil and capitalist interest to, have complete control over South America, right? But if we look at the reasoning on why it was done, Trump would never risk Bay of Pigs level humiliation by going into Cuba. So no, I do not believe Cuba will be invaded. No, Cuba is a ultimate political taboo in the United States of America. Nobody wants a repeat of something that happened on the Bay of Pigs and in other operations that failed. So no, I don't think so. This is going to do anything significantly domestically in the United States. 0 American soldiers have died, and they've decapitated the leadership through a move that they will constantly call a military special operation and not an actual open conflict. So no, this will not do anything in the United States. Americans will not give a fuck, okay? If it turns into proper occupation, like if I see like thousands of troops deploying on the ground, Americans will give a fuck because they won't like the aesthetic. Right now, everybody from the libs down to the chuds are jerking the fuck off to what had just happened. This was a pretty big political gamble. But Holy Mother of God, maybe he's lying about lack of casualties, but I don't think he is. Holy fuck, that was my only bet, honestly. I put all my cards on that. I put all my cards on the idea that they fucked up a bunch of Yanks. Dude, they came in and they took their president and didn't shoot a single Yank. You can't even make the argument to the Americans that American sons are dying for this, because an American son didn't die. I'm rarely shocked. I am rarely shocked.
We're there now, and what people don't understand, but they understand as I say this, we're there now, but we're going to stay until such time as the proper transition can take
We'll
place.
see. I don't have
we're
to
going
lock
to stay
down.
until
We'll
such
see.
time as we're going to run it essentially until such time as a proper transition can take place. As everyone knows, the oil business in Venezuela has been a bust, a total bust, for a long period of time.
Okay, we'll listen to the whole thing, basically.
Administrations, and they stole it through force. This constituted one of the largest thefts of American property in the history. Bad into the United States, but no longer. And we have now a border where nobody gets through. In addition, Venezuela unilaterally seized
Thank you,
and stole
James.
American oil,
Thank you, Pingvi.
American assets, and American platforms, costing us billions and billions of dollars. They did this a while ago, but we never had a president that did anything about it. They took all of our property. It was our property. We built it.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what it's all about.
And we never had a president that decided to do anything about it. Instead, they fought wars that were 10,000 miles away. We built Venezuela oil industry with American talent, drive, and skill, and the socialist regime stole it from us during those
The
previous
socialists.
administrations, and they stole it through force. This constituted one of the largest thefts of American.
So now we're going to steal it and force back, I guess.
Considered the largest theft of property in the history of our country. Massive oil infrastructure was taken like we were babies, and we didn't do anything about
Yeah,
it.
who will think of the oil industry? We must go take everything back for the oil industry calls on American sons to go and fight. But apparently it won't even be calling American sons to go and fight because fight who? None of them died. I'm sorry. Not a single one. Oh, my God.
Done something about it. America will never allow foreign powers to rob our people or drive us back into and out of our own hemisphere. That's what they did. Furthermore, under the now deposed dictator Maduro, Venezuela was increasingly hosting foreign adversaries in our region and acquiring menacing offensive weapons that could threaten U.S. interests and lives. And they used those weapons last night. Potentially in league with the cartels operating along our border. All of these actions were in gross violation of the core principles of American foreign policy, dating back more than 2 centuries. And not anymore. All the way back, it dated to the Monroe.
We no longer live in a world where, okay, we're literally like, this is going to be Iraq 2. Okay, we're having Iraq 2. That's obvious. That's it. Game over. Unless, I don't know, the Sandinistas do some crazy fucking 180 fucking no scope 360 fucking headshot shit. But we no longer have to lie about bringing democracy, bringing freedom. He very openly talks about, Iraq 2 will be brought to you by a president that openly talks about how the main strategic interest that lies in our invasion of Venezuela is oil. We no longer even get the lie, which I guess is better. At least they look us in the eye and they tell us we're stepping on your neck because we can, you little weak bitch. And not bullshit like enlightening us, bringing us democracy like they lied to us in the 2000s and even early 2010s. Now, empire does what empire does without having to create false pretense. Masks are not off, they have been burned.
Our national security stronger than ever before. But these are the iron laws that have always determined global power. And we're going to keep it that way.
Shut up. Thank you, James, from the internet. Thank you, Pink Vinley. And thank you, Enfi Sass, for joining the community. I call upon everyone else as we hit hour 2 to subscribe to the show and save me from turning into RFK Jr., or I'm going to force a Tylenol down your mouth and call you a giraffe Why a giraffe? I don't know. I always imagine giraffes sound like that. Honestly, thought he couldn't one up January 6th, but this sets the tone for an even more chaotic year than 2025. Yeah.
The American Armada remains poised.
Thank you, real biggie. Thank you.
And the United States retains all military options until United States demands have been fully met and fully satisfied. All political and military figures in Venezuela should understand what happened to Maduro can happen to them, and it will happen to them if they aren't just, fair, even to their people. The dictator and terrorist, Maduro, is finally gone in Venezuela. People are free. They're free again. It's been a long time for them, but they're free.
Free.
America is a safer nation. This morning, it's a prouder nation this morning because it didn't allow this horrible person and this country that was doing...
Ladies and gentlemen, it is no longer iPhone Vuvuzela 100 Gorillion. It is now just iPhone 100 Gorillion. Nothing ever happens, guy has just been shot. Or kidnapped, I guess.
For some I didn't respect. I worked with some, they just weren't good. But this guy is fantastic. I watched last night one of the most precise attacks on sovereignty. I mean, it was an attack for justice. And I'm very proud of him, and I'm very proud of our Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, who I'm going to ask to say a few words. Thank you very much.
You're not going to let Marco Rubio talk. This was his life's project. What the fuck?
Well, thank you, Mr. President. Finally, a commander-in-chief the world respects and the American people deserve. And as the president said, words can barely capture the bravery and the power and the precision of this historic operation. A massive joint military and law enforcement raid flawlessly executed by the greatest Americans our country has to offer. American warriors are second to none, the best in the world and the best of our country. What all of us witnessed last night was sheer guts and grit, gallantry and glory of the American warrior. I'm simply humbled by such men. And I tip my hat to our chairman, Dan Raisin Kane, and all those Americans who stood watch last night. Our warriors are the elite of America, and again, President Trump has your back. No other country on planet Earth, and it's not even close, could pull this kind of operation off. And no other president has ever shown this kind of leadership, courage, and resolve. The most powerful combination the world has ever seen. As the president said, our adversaries remain on notice. America can project our will anywhere, anytime. The coordination, the stealth, the lethality, the precision, the very long arm of American justice, all on full display in the middle of the night. Nicolas Maduro had his chance, just like Iran had their chance, until they didn't and until he didn't. He effed around, and he found out. President Trump is deadly serious about stopping the flow of gangs and violence to our country. Deadly serious.
He thought that sounded so metal in his fucking, in his mind. Fafo. He just fafoed Maduro. He just fafoed Maduro. Oh my God. Maduro will be the most embarrassed human on planet Earth. He already is. He already is. Dude, they're gonna drag him like a dead fucking hog behind a hunter's fucking truck through the streets.
Stopping the flow of drugs and poison to our people. Deadly serious about getting back the oil that was stolen from us. And deadly serious about reestablishing American deterrence and dominance in the Western Hemisphere. This is about the safety, security, freedom, and prosperity of the American people. This is America first. This is
I saw
peace
the
through
photo.
strength.
Yeah.
And the United States War Department is proud to help deliver it. Welcome to 2026. And under President Trump, America is back. I'd like to welcome now our chairman, Chairman Raising Cane, to give a few more details about the operation, Mr. Chairman.
We will not hear the end of this for fucking years, man. They will ride the coattails of this for so long. Oh, God. I cannot W pill you out of this. I cannot W pill you out of this because there's nothing to W pill out of this. Zero Yanks lost. They walked into his fucking house and they put him on a boat. Then they paraded him around in social media. And now they're saying Fafo on fucking 4K live stream. Don't Fed post. You achieve nothing. Okay, like if you want to vent inside of yourselves. But don't vent. Don't vent. Use the fucking anger. Organize. Hit the fucking streets. Venting is for fucking masturbators. You don't masturbate your politics. You keep all that spunk inside. You let it fucking stay so long it fucking rots, and then when it comes out, it's all kinds of fire. The boomerang always comes back. But today is not a day for the boomerang. Okay? Today is a day when we sit in modesty and try to learn from everything that went wrong in this situation. Everything that went wrong. And we always come back to one particular lesson if we are talking about sovereignty of countries. That is nuclear proliferation. It just is. Okay? Nuclear proliferation. Diversity and leadership. Let's not fucking lie to ourselves. That's a fucking factor. And basic fucking relative competence. Because if you don't have all three of those, the American boot comes in with a fucking smile on its face and it rips you the fuck open. Thank you, Fas Carotto, for the 20 months, my friend. Let's hope they regain control like early 2000s Chavez. Yeah.
Quick. At 10:46 p.m. Eastern Time last night, the president ordered the United States military to move forward with this mission. He said to us, and we appreciate it, Mr. President, good luck and Godspeed. And those words were transmitted to the entire joint force. Over the course of the night, aircraft began launching from 20 different bases on land and sea across...
Diversity and leadership like DPRK, the opposite of the DPRK. Less one guy for 50 years.
Surveillance.
More institutionalized party leadership. The institution runs it. The face is just the face. Which China is like 70-80% there.
Number was 49.
If Xi Jinping gets his brains blown out, the machine keeps running. Let's see if the same thing happens in Venezuela. I fucking doubt it.
Force, which included law enforcement officers, and began their flight into Venezuela at 100 feet above.
Chavez is rolling in his grave, his burned grave. They couldn't fucking fly out without hitting that with a rocket.
Of the water.
Yeah, let's listen
As
to
they
this.
approached Venezuelan shores, the United States began layering different effects provided by Spacecom, Cybercom, and other members of the interagency to create a pathway. Overhead, those forces were protected by aircraft from the United States Marines, the United States Navy, the United States Air Force, and the Air National Guard. The force included F-22s, F-35s, F-18s, EA-18s, E-2s, B-1 bombers, and other support aircraft, as well as numerous remotely piloted drones. As the force began to approach Caracas, the Joint Air Component began dismantling and disabling the air defense systems in Venezuela, employing weapons to ensure the safe passage of the helicopters.
Thank you, Vato. Thank you very much, my friend.
The goal of our air component was, and always will be to protect the helicopters and the ground force and get them to the target and get them home. As the force crossed the last point of high terrain where they'd been hiding in the clutter, we assessed that we had maintained
totally the element of
Wonderful, a new
surprise.
child soldier. I mean,
As the
subscriber.
helicopter force ingressed towards the objective at low level, we arrived at Maduro's compound at 1:01 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, or 2:01 a.m. Caracas local time, and the apprehension force descended into Maduro's compound and moved with speed, precision, and discipline towards their objective, and isolated the area to ensure the safety and security of the ground force while apprehending the indicted persons. On
Where's the
arrival into
security?
the target
Where's
area, the
everybody?
helicopters came under fire, and they replied with that fire with overwhelming force in self-defense. One of our aircraft was hit but remained flyable, and as the president said earlier today, all of our aircraft came home, and that aircraft remained flyable during the rest of the mission. As the operation unfolded at the compound, our air and ground intelligence teams provided real-time updates to the ground force, ensuring those forces could safely navigate the complex environment without unnecessary risk. The force remained protected by overhead tactical aviation. Maduro and his wife, both indicted, gave up and were taken into custody by the Department of Justice, assisted by our incredible U.S. military with professionalism and precision, with no loss of U.S. life.
Jesus Christ.
After securing the indicted persons, the force began to prep for departure.
I would harikiri. I am serious. I don't even know if this is TOS. I would still say it. If I was those security forces, I would harikiri. I would absolutely, yes.
Impressive.
Or what? The other word? I don't know, dude. What? I'm getting too angry for this fucking stream.
Venezuela. The force successfully exfiltrated and returned to their afloat launch bases, and the force was over the water at 3:29 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with indicted persons on board. And both Maduro and his wife.
Jesus Christ. The U.S. military kidnaps Maduro. Maduro is in the U.S. illegally. ICE kidnaps Maduro and deports him to Venezuela. Maduro is in Venezuela.
Were embarked.
I could absolutely see it happen, dude. They deported like fucking Chinese anti-CCP people back to China.
Aboard the USS Iwo Jima. In closing, what we've witnessed today is a powerful demonstration of America's joint force. We think, we develop, we train, we rehearse, we debrief, we rehearse again and again, not to get it right, but to ensure that we cannot get it wrong. Our jobs are to integrate combat power so when the order comes, we can deliver overwhelming force at the time and the place of our choosing against any foe anywhere in the world. I am immensely proud today of our joint force and filled with gratitude to represent them here today. There is simply no mission too difficult for these incredible professionals and the families that stand by them and support them. As we stand here this morning, our forces remain in the region at a high state of readiness, prepared to project power, defend themselves, and our interests in the region. This operation is a testament to the dedication and unwavering commitment to justice.
Can you imagine if China did this to Taiwan or something? I mean, there's no leader to take out of Taiwan because Taiwan is an American fucking colony. Their fucking presidency is completely irrelevant. There's nothing to decapitate in a colony. It is sovereign states that can be decapitated. And it is often their own fault for allowing the ability for a foreign state to decapitate them because they have not created institutions that do not rely on a particular individual person or leader. But today is not the day when we're going to criticize Venezuela for being invaded, I guess, even though it is, we should learn from their respectfully incredible lack of, I don't know, whatever the fuck that was today. This is unprecedented. They are right. These fucking Yanks are right. They're right. Has this ever happened in the history of ever? I'm not even kidding. A president of a country in their version of their White House, in their capital city, in a single fucking day, no troops lost. I don't think that's ever happened. I can't think of that ever happening. So, yeah. If you want me to sell you coke, go somewhere else.
Not just us saying it. The first Trump administration, the Biden administration, the second Trump administration, none of those three recognized him. He's not recognized by the European Union and multiple countries around the world. He is a fugitive of American justice with a $50 million reward.
This was his. Marco Rubio did this.
And,
this is his baby.
Yeah, exactly. But,
he did all of this.
Let anybody claim it. Nobody deserves it but us.
But I want to be clear about one thing. Nicolas Maduro had multiple opportunities to avoid this. He was provided multiple very, very, very generous offers and chose instead to act like a wild man, chose instead to play around. And the result is what we saw tonight. The other message here is the following. You have a guy, like many people around the world, they like to play games. You have a guy who decides he's going to invite Iran into his country, is going to, do the confiscation of American oil companies, is going to flood our country with gang members, is going to take Americans prisoner and try to hold them for hostage and trade them like he was able to do with the Biden administration. Basically likes to play games all this time and thinks nothing's going to happen. And I hope what people now...
Is there a chance for a real protracted people's war on the ground, Vietnam-style resistance? I'm crossing myself, and I'm hoping that there is. Do I think 10% chance? This is not Vietnam. This is not Chavez. Chavez is era Venezuela. Not Chavez. Ignore what I said about Chavez. This is not Chavez is Venezuela. This is a tired country from decades of sanctions with a leaking economy and a questionable military. An incredibly questionable military. So unless it's guerrilla civilians that are like fucking gonna do hoops around the fucking Marines, and we've seen that happen in plenty of places. But is there enough political will there for a protracted people's war? Enough resources for a protracted people's war. Vietnam had guns because of a little country known as the USSR. Okay. So it's, yeah. Yeah.
Understand is we have a president. The 47th president of the United States is not a game player. When he tells you that he's going to do something, when tells you he's going to address a problem, he means it. He actions it. I can tell you, I've watched this process now for 14, 15 years, been around it. Everybody talks. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. When I get there, we're going to do this. We're going to take. This is a president of action. Like, I don't understand yet how they haven't figured this out. And now, if you don't know, now you know. Because this is the way it's going to play out. And I think people need to understand that this is not a president that just talks and does letters and press conferences. And, if he says he's serious about something, he means it. And this is something that was a direct threat to the national interest of the United States. And the president addressed it. There's a president of peace, by the way. I told you what I just said earlier. This guy had multiple opportunities to find his way somewhere else and figure out another. He could have been living somewhere else right now very happy. But instead, he wanted to play big boy. And so now, he's got other sets of problems on his hands. And but I think that the message here should be for the world. Look, the president doesn't go out looking for people to pick fights with. He's not generally wants to get along with everybody. We'll talk and meet with anybody. But don't play games. Don't play games with this president's in office because it's not going to turn out well. And so I hope that,
Chads are going to love this. Oh, my God. They're going to love this. Libs might even love this. This.
I guess that lesson was learned last night. And
I haven't felt more eld. I haven't felt more like somebody pissed in my mouth as a staunch anti-imperialist than today in the last fucking 5 years. I feel disgusting. And not only because I'm sick and I sound like RFK, but because, bish, I'm not doomer pilling. All I'm saying is that the Americans played this like a fucking fiddle. Let's see how they play China and Taiwan. I think the game is a little bit different there, and Ukraine and Russia. But here, the enemy came in and shat in our mouth. And the productive, hope-filled way you should use this is chew on that shit. Remember how it tastes. And promise yourself never again. Chew it. Don't lie to yourself that this is not shit in your mouth. It is shit in your mouth. Chew it. Remember what it tastes like. It's going to motivate you to never let that happen again. So God help you. And fucking organize, for fuck's sakes.
And we hope it'll be instructive moving forward.
All the anti-multipolarity people, both in chat, but they're rare here, but everywhere, you are politically illiterate. You are politically illiterate. Okay? There is no sovereignty, and there is one guy that can just kidnap presidents. So one party that can just kidnap your executive. I am fully multipolarity pilled now. I've always been semi-skeptical because I'm like, look at the other fucking cunts. But how much worse can it be than this?
Please. Well, we're going to be running it with a group, and we're going to make sure it's run properly. We're going to rebuild the oil infrastructure, which will cost billions of dollars. It'll be paid for by the oil companies directly. They will be reimbursed for what.
But there you go. But Barry, you're coping. I imagine this is an Israel moment. Trump has seen L after L. Yeah, his operation in Iran is seen by everybody as a success. The pausing of the active phase of the Palestinian genocide, which he deemed as peace, is deemed a success. His cooing of Venezuela now is deemed a success. And then he just lies about 100 different places that he quote unquote did peace. Like, these guys are not sitting in a room and feeling like they fucked up in the last 12 months. They don't feel like these men do not feel like they fucked up. They don't feel like they've eaten shit. The only place arguably they feel like they've eaten shit is not being able to warrant a ceasefire or the end of conflict in Ukraine. That's the only thing that's still itching them. And they have no idea what's going to happen with the fucking Chinese because they're very unpredictable. But all the other, operations they did, they deem as a success. And one could argue to an extent, from an American POV, they were. They're losing so badly, they're taking desperate measures. They have no choice left but to openly steal resources. Yes, that is true. In the long term, yes. Late stage empire just acts out whatever way they want to. And in this case, they're just, I want your oil, eat my ass. Combined with personal Donald Trump motivations of this being, pretty good for his image, fighting a narco-terrorist and all. So I agree, it is empire in decline, but while it declines, it's going to drag a lot of shit with it. Fair enough, I was more referring to Ukraine and Epstein. Yes. Oh, I'm so sorry, Barry. Yes, Jesus, I can't believe that. There you go. Holy Mother of God. They invaded the country so that people forget about Epstein. Look at me, I do political coverage. I literally forgot about Epstein. Oh my God, you see how it works? You see how it works now, chat? You see how it works now? 4 more subs still, 2,900. Come on, let's have a very pretty number in here. Holy Mother of God. Who did Animal Kicks hardest? 100%. Cornered Wolf also bites hardest.
What they're doing, but
bites everybody.
Paid. And we're going to get the oil flowing the way it should be. As you know, it was just a minor flow. It was actually a minor flow for what they have. But we're going to run it properly, and we're going to make sure the people of Venezuela are taken care of. We're going to make sure the people that were forced out of Venezuela by this thug are also taken care of.
What the hell, Barry and Sylvie? What the hell? Barry, why do you do 14? Why is 14?
Crazy hamburger!
Why do you do 15, bro? What is that your favorite number? But no, thank you, seriously. Sylvie Soviet, thank you very much for your support. And thank you, Barry, you fucking legend. Barry is a fucking queen and a king. Barry's like a executive investor in this fucking stream. You're like you're basically my boss. So Uncle Chris, another one of my junior executives as well. Thank you very much for the $5. Aw, that's so cute, Barry. I like your logic. Thank you, Chris, as well. I got a bunch of execs in here.
That's running the country.
Hope you can do a better job protecting me than Maduro's junior execs did protecting him.
Mean that U.S. troops will be on the ground? How will that work?
Well, you know, they always say boots on the ground. Oh, so we're not afraid of boots on the ground if we have to have. We had boots on the ground last night.
Crazy hamburger! Crazy hamburger!
We are on a roll, I guess. Fucking execs everywhere. Thank you, Crimson Tinted. Thank you very much for your first gifts. Thank you very, very, very much. That is very kind of you, my friend. That is very kind of you. Thank you. And let me add you to Western taxpayers. Very good Western taxpayers this week. I'm proud of you fucking tax-paying motherfuckers. 18. I mean, you had to invade.
Crazy hamburger! Crazy hamburger!
You had to invade a whole ass country, coup it, and feel bad about it. So now you're in here paying me taxes. Oh, more of them. Oh, there we go. Nano. What's up, Nanoy? Fucking, there you go. Junior exec right there. Okay. Waiting to become partner with that tenor. Nanoy, more Western tax payments. You guys feel bad about what you did?
Child soldier, I mean subscriber.
That's why you're subbing? Fucking legends. And then we have a developing world taxpayer up in here. Serious Vato. Thank you, Vato, for another 5, Vato, which makes you 10. I should probably count you. Got a hype train 35% discount. Hit that shit, dude. Hit that shit. Why not? Why the fuck not? Let's hit 3,000. Am I greedy? Yes. Fuck it. Fuck it. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000.
Yeah, at a very
Thank you, Mordecai.
high level, actually.
Wonderful.
We're not afraid of it. We don't mind saying it. But we're going to make sure that that country is run properly. We're not doing this in vain. This is a very dangerous attack. This is an attack that could have gone
Let's
very,
go,
very
Gail
badly.
Lennon.
Could have gone very badly.
Let's
We could
go.
have lost a lot of people last night. We could have lost a lot of dignity. We could have lost a lot of equipment. The equipment is less important, but...
My predictions as a political scientist. Oh, a fellow political scientist. Hello, sir. Specialized in energy analysis and the systemic materialist is that even Venezuelan oil will not solve the decline of the U.S. because the energy return on energy invested is too low to give large numbers. Good point. Good, very good point. And even if you don't focus specifically on the current, let's say, relationship oil has to the American economy, both domestic and foreign oil production,
Wonderful. A new child soldier. I mean subscriber.
in a more general and systemic manner, a country with massively outsourced labor pool, a country that's stabbing everybody in the dark through very aggressive economic policies such as tariffs, a country trying to invite itself
Wonderful. A new child
to
soldier.
newer and newer
Subscriber.
conflicts in every corner of the world in ways that it has not done in the past by openly stating this, etc., etc.
Wonderful.
Are
A new
all,
child soldier. I mean subscriber.
what do you call it? They're all, when you're sick like I am, what do you call it? Jesus.
Wonderful. A new child soldier. I mean subscriber.
They're all symptoms of decline. Okay? They're all symptoms of decline. And we're just here to wait it out, my dear friends. And make sure that as it declines, it hurts as little people as possible. But I'm not getting hurt in this chat. I'm getting love in this chat. Worst painkiller with the fucking 5, you fucking legend, and paying forward. You're my favorite. And then fucking Polky. Another junior executive. You got promoted, Polky. You're a junior partner executive now, Polky. Thank you for your Western taxpayers, my friend. Payments. Thank you very much. Fucking appreciate you.
Wonderful. A new child soldier. I mean, subscriber.
Very much. Thank you, Cleo. What's up, Cleo? Thank you for joining.
We could have lost a lot,
Wonderful.
and we're going to make sure that this is proper.
Subscriber.
We're there now. We're ready to go again if we have to. We're going to run the country right. It's going to be run very
it's going to be Iraq.
judiciously, very fairly. It's going to make a lot of money. We're going to give money to the people. We're going to reimburse people that were taken advantage of. We're going to take care of everybody. It's very important. We couldn't let them get away with it. You know, they stole our oil. We built that whole industry there, and they just took it over like we would not.
With Vice President of Venezuela, or how do you foresee the relationship
Well, I
going?
understand she was just sworn in,
Wonderful.
but she was, as you know, picked by Maduro. So Marco's working on that directly. He just had a conversation with her, and she's essentially willing to do what we think is necessary to make Venezuela great again. Very simple.
Oh my fucking God. Yeah, everybody's betraying. Yeah. There's no protracted People's War. This shit's done. Oh my God. They are in contact with the VP, and the VP is chill about it. Magoke. Thank you very much, Magoke. Let's go. Level 10, baby.
Mr. President, Colombian President Gustavo Petro, a couple weeks ago, he said he's got to watch his ass. And today, he said he's not concerned about anything happening to him in the aftermath of this operation. So, just what your message is
Well,
about
he
that.
has cocaine mills. He has
soldier.
factories where he makes
subscriber.
cocaine. And yeah, I think I stick by my first statement. He's making cocaine. They're sending it into the United States. So he does have
Jesus
to watch
Christ.
his ass.
Please don't get it. Don't get a taste for it, for fuck's sakes. Please don't get a taste for it, you fucking insane fucking animal.
Mr. President, did you notify any members of Congress in advance?
Marco, do you want to talk about that?
Oh yeah, it is packed up. It is packed up. It's done.
And a mission that you can do congressional notification on. It was a trigger-based mission in which conditions had to be met night after night. We watched and monitored that for a number of days. So it's just simply not the kind of mission you can call people and say, hey, we may do this at some point in the next 15 days. But it's largely a law enforcement function. Remember, at the end of the day, at its core, this was an arrest of 2 indicted fugitives of American justice, and the Department of War supported the Department of Justice.
Okay, then why are you saying you're going to occupy the country now? If it's just, I hate making these arguments because this is just them saying shit just because it's polite to just say shit so that we can move on to the next thing. But okay, let me do the fucking thing. This is scope. What I'm doing now is scope. A lot of other streamers are going to be fucking coping like this for you. I'm not going to fucking do it. But let me just do it for the sports. So if you're arresting him as a narco traffic guy, then take him to prison. Why are you going to occupy the country? What?
Now, John,
are you imprisoning Venezuela? I mean, you are, but I don't think you can call an entire country a cartel.
Now, there are broader policy implications here, but it's just not the kind of mission that you can pre-notify because it endangers the mission.
Wonderful. Child soldier.
Plus, if I could add one thing to that, Congress has a tendency to leak. This would not be good. If they leaked, General, I think it would have been maybe a very different result. But I have to say, they knew we were coming at some point, you know. A lot of ships out there, they sort of knew we were coming. We wanted to. But Congress will leak, and we don't want leakers.
Wonderful. A new child
to
soldier.
watch this all play out live. What was Maduro doing when the U.S. forces entered what I assume would be his home? And also, was there any point where the U.S. was considering if Maduro pushed back or resisted killing?
Maduro looks like a big gooner.
Soldier. Subscriber.
It could have happened. He was trying to get into a safe place. You know what a safe place is, all steel. And he wasn't able to make it to the door because our guys were so fast. They went through.
Thank you, Prentice.
Crazy hamburger!
What the fuck, dude? Apprentice Pint Man, thank you very much for the 19 months, baby. Mr. Trump, I'm messaging from British occupied Ireland. Please flee my people.
The opposition so fast. And there was a lot of opposition. You know, people were wondering, did we get them by surprise? Sort of surprised, but they were waiting for something. It was a lot of opposition. There was a lot of gunfire. You saw some of it today. But he was trying to get to a safe place, which wasn't safe because we would have had the door blown up and about 47, I think 47 seconds, they say on average, regardless of how thick the steel was. It was a very thick door. It was a very heavy door, but he was
minus 500 preparedness, dude.
Unable to get to that door. He made it to the door. He was unable to close it. Go ahead, finish.
To be in the time being right now, do you know his exact
Well,
whereabouts?
eventually, ultimately, in the near future, he's going to be brought to New York.
And where is he going to be held? Where is he going to be held in New York? Do you know?
That's going to be up to the officials that do these things.
Mr. President, the U.S. has something of a mixed track record of ousting dictators without necessarily a plan for what comes afterwards.
Not with
Did
me.
that weigh on your decision?
Well, that's when we had different presidents, but with me, that's not true. With me, we've had a perfect track record of winning. We win a lot, and we win. If you look at Soleimani, you look at al-Baghdadi, you look at the Midnight Hammer. Midnight Hammer was incredible. Right now, you wouldn't have peace in the Middle East. We have essentially peace in the Middle East because of that. If we weren't successful with Midnight Hammer, you wouldn't have peace in the Middle East. So
there is I could make a conspiracy theory that there was no actual proper attack. It was just theater, and Maduro pretty much accepted surrender. That is I would rather believe that than motherfuckers moving into the Venezuelan White House. Not a single one of them being dropped and taking out the president. Is it like thank you for the 11 hype train. Thank you very much, chat. You're very kind. That is so embarrassing. That is so insanely embarrassing. Alternatively, it could be a very brave move, I guess. But I don't think it was because of everything that was said about, we need to, there was fail-safes in place if Maduro gets arrested, at least on paper. At least on paper, what the military needs to do, what the police needs to do, what different state organs need to do. So if he was giving himself up, he wouldn't put that in place. So it's treason, it's incompetence, or it's planned extraction. There's literally no third option. There's no third option. I don't know which one of these is worse. All of them are very bad. All of them are very, very fucking bad.
With me, you've had a lot of victory. You've had only victories. You've had no losses. Yeah.
How long do you expect the U.S. to run Venezuela, and how soon do you want Venezuelan people to hold elections?
So I'd like to do it quickly, but it takes a period of time. We're rebuilding. We have to rebuild their whole infrastructure. The infrastructure is rotted. It's actually very dangerous. It's blow-up territory. Oil is very dangerous.
Trump just said that Machado will not be a leader. What the fuck? Really? In what part? What minute?
But in terms of other countries that want oil, we're in the oil business. We're going to sell it to them. We're not going to say we're not going to give it. In other words, we'll be selling oil, probably in much larger doses because they couldn't produce.
At least that's one funny thing, I guess.
Because their infrastructure was so bad. So we'll be selling large amounts of oil to other countries, many of whom are using it now, but I would say many more will come.
Are you saying, Mr. President, are you saying that, Mr. President, are you saying that,
Mr. President, thank you. What is your message to the people of Venezuela today? Of course, the civilian population specifically, they have a lot of questions. What is your message to the people of Venezuela?
That you're going to have peace, justice. You're going to have some of the riches that you should have had for a long period of time. It was stolen from you. But you're going to have peace, and you're going to have safety. You're going to have justice. You're going to have a country. You're going to have a real country. You're going to have potentially a great country. If you go back 20 years, maybe even a little longer ago, that was a great country, and they destroyed it. Remember I said that if we lose this election, the United States will be Venezuela on steroids. That's what would have happened. Had we lost the election, the 2024 election, we suffered so badly. When you look at the border from 2020, what they did, what Joe Biden administration did to our country should never be forgotten. But if we had to go through another year of that, we would be exactly where Venezuela was in terms. I used to say if they win, we're going to be Venezuela on steroids, and that's what would have happened.
President, thank you. Are you saying that Secretary Hegseth and Rubio are going to be running Venezuela, and will you be sending in U.S. military
They're going
troops
to be
to
a
provide?
team that's working with the people of Venezuela to make sure that we have Venezuela right. Because for us to just leave, who's going to take over? I mean, there is nobody to take over. You have a vice president who's been appointed by Maduro, and right now she's the vice president, and she's, I guess, the president. She was sworn in as president just a little while ago. She had a long conversation with Marco, and she said, we'll do whatever you need. I think she was quite gracious, but she really doesn't have a choice. We're going to have this done right. We're not going to just do this with Maduro, then leave like everybody else, leave and say, let it go to hell. If we just left, it has zero chance of ever coming back. We'll run it properly. We'll run it professionally. We'll have the greatest oil companies in the world going and invest billions and billions of dollars.
This is such a classic South American story, isn't it? Like, they're just going to do, like, classic South American story.
And take out money, use that money.
Privatize, eventually get out of the country, but indirectly control it through private enterprise. Win, profit, unironically.
Money in Venezuela.
Yes, put it louder. Thank you, my friend.
The biggest beneficiary are going to be the people of Venezuela. And also, I can't...
3,000 subscriptions are looking at you straight in the face, and I'm telling you about this is RFK, okay?
Stress this strongly enough. The people that got thrown out of Venezuela that are now in the United States, and frankly, some want to stay and some probably want to go back, yeah.
In the country. And
there you go, the domestic pitch. A very good pitch for the Chuds. It's a very good pitch. I decapitated an evil enemy, and now that will allow us to deport more people in an ethical way, quote unquote.
Any of the detained Americans.
Well, right now they're very protected because nobody's going to mess with us. They're very protected. The people of, and we let them know that you better not touch one of them.
Are you concerned that bad elements of the Maduro regime will remain in place?
Well, we know who they are. We're on them, and they're acting much different.
Say, come on. We know who they are and where they live. Come on. Do the whole mafia shtick. Come on.
Now than they would have acted 2 days ago. Okay, wait. Behind you, please.
Mr. President, why is running a country in South America...
I got RFK brainworm, man.
Well, I think it is because we want to surround ourselves with good neighbors. We want to surround ourselves with stability. We want to surround ourselves with energy. We have tremendous energy in that country. It's very important that we protect it. We need that for ourselves. We need that for the world. And we want to make sure we can protect it. Yes, sir. Please, go ahead.
Is there a message here for Cuba and Diaz-Canel?
Well, Cuba's an interesting case. Cuba is, not doing very well right now. That system has not been a very good one for Cuba. The people there have suffered for many, many years. And I think Cuba is going to be something we'll end up talking about because Cuba is a failing nation right now, very badly failing.
Marco Rubio's ultimate goal is Cuba. I don't think Trump will risk it. I don't think that. There you go. I properly called that Maduro will be ousted. I literally called it yesterday. I'm calling that they're not going to touch Cuba. It's too messy. It's got too much history. Will they continue trying to do the typical CIA, like fostering domestic resistance type shit, domestic reactionary movement, blah, blah, blah? Yes, they will, but they've always done that. It's too much of a taboo. You don't touch Cuba. It's too much of a headache. You know what I mean?
Nation. And we want to help the people of. It's very similar in the sense that we want to help the people in Cuba, but we want to also help the people that were forced out of Cuba and living in this country. Do you want to say something about that, Marco, please?
Well, I mean, I just gave you a statement a few minutes ago about, when the president speaks, you should take him seriously. Suffice it to say, Cuba is a disaster. It's run by incompetent, senile men, and in some cases, not senile, but incompetent nonetheless. It has no economy. It's in total collapse. And by the way, they were, all of the guards that helped protect Maduro, this is well known, their whole spy agency, all that were full of Cubans. I mean, it's amazing. This poor island took over Venezuela in some cases. One of the biggest problems the Venezuelans have is they have to declare independence from Cuba that tried to basically colonize it from a security standpoint. So, yeah, look, if I lived in Havana and I was in the government, I'd be concerned, at least a little bit.
Literal gangsters, dude.
Well, the president already announced a week ago that anything that's sanctioned It's sanctioned oil. It's not going to be allowed to get there. So that's a pre-existing.
The answer is yes. Yes. No, we haven't. No, we haven't.
Mr. President. Just we haven't been in contact. Not that she's not an option. Of course, she's going to say that.
Mr. President, on Monday.
Oh, I think it would be very tough for her to be the leader. She doesn't have the support within or the respect within the country. She's a very nice woman, but she doesn't.
Oh my God! Okay, this is oh my God! Why is he doing this? Is incredible. He's beefing over the Nobel Peace Prize.
Doesn't have the respect.
Mr. President, is it possible that the U.S. ends up administrating Venezuela for years?
Well, it won't cost us anything because the money coming out of the ground is very substantial. So it's not going to cost us anything. We will. Well, we want safety there. We want to be surrounded by countries that aren't housing all of our enemies all over the world. That's what was happening, and you don't want to have that. But we're going to be rebuilding, and we're not spending money. The oil companies are going to go in. They're going to spend money. We're going to take back the oil that, frankly, we should have taken back a long time ago. A lot of money is coming out of the ground. We're going to get reimbursed for all of that. We're going to get reimbursed for everything that we spend.
I wish China was revolutionary. What are you talking about? Why does everybody expect China to come in and fucking save everybody? Like,
so it's going to be. It's going to be a very important. It's going to be a very important. This is a very big evening.
How about you don't get your president get kidnapped in the middle of the night without dropping a single fucking body? How about we criticize our own actions before asking for daddy to come help? I'm not saying that's what you said, Chad, but like for fuck's sakes.
That took place last night. We have to be surrounded by safe, secure countries. And we also have to have energy, very important. We have to have energy that's real energy, not where they're getting 4% and 5% of the energy out of the ground. You take a look. It was such a disaster. So what's going to happen with Venezuela, I think, over the next period of a year is going to be a great thing. And the people of Venezuela will be the biggest beneficiaries.
Literally, socialism is internationalist. Socialism is internationalist in the sense that it believes in the eventual destruction of nation states and the unification of a global socialist state, supra-state. It wouldn't even be called a state at that point. It also believes in the spreading of socialism internationally, but through the fight against imperialism at its core, which will allow the organic development of socialism in countries. Okay? Importing socialism has never worked. Post-World War II, Poland imported socialism, Romania imported socialism, Bulgaria imported socialism. All three worst examples of socialist implementation almost on planet Earth. Okay? So that is not internationalism, and that is also false praxis. Should we do everything we can to supply socialist organic movements in countries around the world to do their revolution? Yes, absolutely. Should we roll in our tanks with our flags as the main military that takes over their White House? We should no, we should not, under one very practical fucking reason. One very practical fucking reason. They will then view socialism and us as occupiers. And that cannot be done. Now, we can talk about how China's potentially shooting itself in the foot through the perspective of, from a realpolitik perspective. Like, come on, why the fuck would you want to lose such a big key ally in the Southern Hemisphere? This is a big F for China, like it absolutely is. But China does not have the capacity in America's sphere of influence that would be required, size and capacity that would be required to do what is necessary to stop something like this. So, I don't know. Maybe it could have done something to help stop the fucking midnight kidnapping of the president. I'm still shook that this happened. This is insane. They came in and they fucked. Oh my god, I will not hear the end of this forever, dude. There's gonna be like 10 fucking movies about this. Oh my fucking god. It's the same reason big unions will help you out, but not send people in to start it. It has to be organic. Yes, my friend, that's a great example. That is a great example, my friend. It's not self-determination either, and what, so we be ruled and not actually dictate as pros? Or what do you mean? What you want? Are you talking about what at that point in the development of our society will be seen as a reactionary idealism, so known as nationalism? No, your reactionary idealism of having your nation state with your pretty little flag will be stamped out as reactionary behavior that it is at that point in time. At the current point in time, nationalism has its uses as a tool against imperialism, for self-determination, and for the development of the local proletarian to lift itself from under the boot of another state occupying it. But after that, that conversation is over. It's a good time for some Taiwan liberation action. It could be. It could be. The old Palestinian communist saying is that we must raise our flag so we can lower it the next day. Absolutely. Progressive nationalist movements are some of our greatest comrades that have ever lived. But in the long term, if they are true comrades, they are fighting to eventually put down that flag as well. Get well soon, friend. Thank you. Maduro, make a deal or something. That you saw my tweet probably. These are my 3 options, okay? Like either the greatest incompetence that I've seen, maybe in my lifetime. I'm not even kidding. Yeah, I will say maybe in my lifetime. Pre-negotiated extraction or some next level succession betrayal. Those are your 3 options. We will probably never know the answer.
Going to send in
U.S.
military.
I'm so sorry, Chad. Like, it's blowing my fucking ears out.
President, thank you. What did you last speak to Maduro about when you spoke? And is the
Well,
US
I don't want to
at
get
war
into
with
the
Venezuela?
conversations, but I did have conversations with him, and I said, you got to surrender. And I actually thought he was pretty close to doing so, but now he wished he did, yeah.
You said that Maduro is responsible for drug trafficking. You recently pardoned the former president of Honduras.
Oh, this is a good question. Okay.
Who was convicted on many drug trafficking. Can you explain how these 2 situations are
Well,
different? And would you ever pardon Maduro?
I endorsed, as you know, the winning president, the man who won in Honduras. I endorsed the man who won in Chile. I endorsed the man who won in Argentina. And we are doing very well with that whole group. What the man that I pardoned was, if you could equate it to us, he was treated like the Biden administration treated a man named Trump. That didn't work out too well for them. This was a man who was persecuted very unfairly. He was the head of the country. He was persecuted very unfairly. And there are a number of them. And we felt that it was a very unfair situation that happened to him. He's also a party member of the man who won. So obviously the people liked what I did. And one of the reasons that was done is because of the fact that the party in power felt very strongly that that man was treated very badly. I studied it very quickly, and then I studied it in great detail. I went to a lot of the people standing behind me, and they felt that that man was persecuted and treated very badly. That's why I gave him a pardon.
You referenced boots on the ground earlier. Can you just sort of button this up? Do you envision the U.S. military having a presence in Venezuela as the U.S. runs that
Well,
country?
no, we're going to have a presence in Venezuela as it pertains to oil, because we have to have. We're
Oh my God! It's dude, it's Iraq. Oh my! I'm gonna shit myself.
So you made
soldiers protecting massive oil plants. Oh my God! It's Iraq. They just took out Saddam before they went in.
Need something, not very much. But no, we're going to be taking out a tremendous amount of wealth out of the ground. And that wealth is going to the people of Venezuela and people from outside of Venezuela that used to be in Venezuela. And it goes also to the United States of America in the form of reimbursement for the damages caused us by that country. So I want to thank you all very much. Thank you. Do you have one? Yes, please. You were so nice before. I'm going to give you the final question. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr.
Unless
President.
it's a bad question, in
It's
which
about
case I'll
Putin.
go one word. It's about who?
It's about Putin, if you want.
About Putin. Well, that's
Okay.
always nice
You had
to
a phone-
talk about Putin.
You had a phone call with him
Yeah.
on Monday. Did he talk at all about Maduro? Did y'all talk about this?
No, we didn't.
And
We
then-
never spoke about Maduro.
Are you mad at him right now? I mean, there's this
I'm not
intelligence.
thrilled with Putin. I'm not thrilled with Putin. He's killing too many people. I thought that would.
I am a fucking professional, okay? We go in, we extract, we decapitate a whole country. Putin out here fucking fighting a 4-year war, fucking losing 1 million people. What the fuck? I'm mad. Like, why can't he be as elegant as we are? If I was an American nationalist, I would not ironically make this point. If I was an American nationalist, I would be riding the greatest high of my life right now. The quality of my posts would be cleaner than fucking Megan Fox's ass. Ooh. I'm gonna probably stay away from Twitter for a couple of days because they're gonna write it. Oh my god, can you imagine Asmongold reacting to this? Oh my god, Asmongold's reaction to this is going to be fucking, oh lord. This is one of those days, chat, where we sit here and we just we take it. It's not a lot of light in the cave right now, okay? Not a lot of light in the cave. Something leaked. Up.
My fellow citizens, at this hour, American and coalition forces are in the early stages of military operations to disarm Iraq, to free its people, and to...
Don't you feel like ill looking at this shit? I'm already ill. Can you hear my voice? Like, my commie instincts have told me that some shit is coming by fucking me up before. So yeah, I do feel like shit. Yeah, but I gotta do it. It's my job, my friend. I gotta process this out. I'm the mama bird. I eat the shit and then I spit it in your mouth.
Would be so. I settled 8 1/4 war. You know what the 1/4 was? Thailand and Cambodia. I did it again. They broke out, and I did it in about 5 hours.
Oh yeah, that was a thing.
And I settled it. I'm giving myself 1/4, so I'm up to now 8 1/4. In other words, I settled the war, but then they broke out. They had a pretty bad breakout over the last 4 days. I got them to go back to peace. So I only give 1/4.
Peace, no war. Oh my god, people are gonna meme the shit out of Maduro. Oh lord. I think we got our Kirk. Holy mother of God, we just got our Kirk. The left has its Kirk now. I'm pretty sure there's a 50, 60 more predictions. I'm always correct with my predictions. We might have just received our Kirk. Maduro memes, yeah. There's gonna be Maduro memes.
Thought the easiest one would
Madurification memes coming so soon.
be, one of the easier ones would be Russia, Ukraine. It's not. And they both have done some pretty bad things. And look, that's Biden's war. That's not my war. But I want to stop the lives. Did you see where last month, 30,000, it was 27,000 the month before. 30,000.
If you're in the U.S. military, don't forget to tape a picture of Epstein to the inside of your helmet to remind yourself who you're really fighting for. Somebody give you a rethrow over here, a fucking sub. That was the best post of the day.
Mostly soldiers were killed this last month. 30,000. I want to stop that. You know, I got NATO to pay 5% instead of the 2% that they weren't paying.
Yes,
they
not
weren't
the Frosted does.
paying 2, now they pay 5. And we send them a lot of munitions, we send them a lot of things, missiles and various other things, a lot. and they pay. The United States is not losing money. We're probably making money on that.
Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Barry.
I just want to
Thank you very
stop
much.
all those people. We're losing 25, 30,000 human beings. They come from two places that are very...
Yeah, Trump repeats himself more than I do, but I think you like that. Anyways, chat, this was sick, but not in a good way. This was not sick in a good way. Why does Central Committee never raid me, that old man? What the fuck? He came in on my territory on Sunday and then didn't raid me. Motherfucker, I'm about to have a word with my boy. I'm about to start some beef. I'm about to start some beef with the old man. Send him this clip. Send him this clip. Raid the denims. I know, God bless. I'll raid. I raided James. I've raided denims before. You know what? I'll just raid the Turk. I haven't raided the Turk. The Turk watched my video yesterday. I'll raid the Turk. Fuck it. There we go. Go to the Turk. Have fun. I'll try and get better tomorrow. I'm really sorry for the voice chat. I'm really, really sorry. But it's out of my control. It might get more fucked up tomorrow, which is going to be unfortunate as shit. Thank you to everybody that subscribed. Thank you to everybody that followed. Thank you to everybody that oiled me up. I'm genuinely, truly grateful. Thank you to the mods, the production/agent team, and I will see you tomorrow. God bless. Unless I die. Maybe I'm going to RFK myself to death.